It's all down to Michi to try to deny that. He's not able to deny the plant red. He's able to run down the time.
Here it stops again. One kill already done. Next kill already done. Numbers do usually win out, so they are going to pick it up out through the wall.
Camera in position.
Get behind me!
Tango located.
Hostiles in sight!
Kia ora everybody, get on in here because we are here in day number 2 of week 6 for LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege. Mr. Smite, Mr. Cthulhu, we're here to bring you some mean-ass games again here. We are right on the tail end of this round robin. We're just going to tidy up the second last round though, Cthulhu.
Yes, yeah, we still got a couple more games remaining. We still got a few loose ends to be tied up, and well, tonight's matches just might do that very thing.
Yeah, but you guys are like, oh, round robin playoffs, like what is this guy talking about? Or maybe you already know, maybe you just want a refresher. Well, this is the section for you because here's where we remind everyone how it all works. It's a round robin, we got 8 teams, which means it's going to be taking 7 weeks in total. We're in week 6, so we're almost done. Now, every match, best of 2, which we'll be seeing tonight. And then, after next week, when we complete the round robin, then we take the top 4 teams and shove them into playoffs where it becomes elimination-style bracket. And that's where the fun really begins, Cthulhu.
Oh, yes. Yeah, this is where the fun begins, and this is where the
where the
main
money
contention
begins.
as well. Yeah, this is where the money begins as well. So the first place will be contesting for the $3K dues, as well as that. The second place for $1,000, and then third and fourth, $500. That's all looking quite nice, all quite nice and neato, but there are more ways to achieve some prizes.
That's right, you know, top 4 if you want to earn the whole prize for your team, but on an individual level, we've got the Vodafone MVP Award. This one's $250 straight cash into the pocket of the most valuable player of the season. So definitely look out for whoever's making the best plants or maybe just the best one-taps. You know what? Doesn't matter. As long as they get that win, they're in contention for the MVP. I think a big man was Repix from last night, though. I mean, man,
He's definitely getting the vote on that one.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a moment to show you what we're talking about, because I'd say it was also a performance worthy of the Red Bull fan vote as well. Now, this one is a big one too, because it's similar but a little bit different. Because you guys are involved at home. That's right, you can get in and vote, ! Vote in the Twitch chat to find out how to do it, because you want to know how to do it, because you guys can go in the draw to win as well. 4 random voters will be winning a year's supply of Red Bull. But that's just one of the prizes that the 4 most voted players will be earning. What else do they get, Cthulhu?
Well, the players will be also getting $500, as well as the fridge to put in all of their year's supply worth of Red Bull. And, well, that could also go into, well, the year's supply of Red Bull will be also drawn in for the 4 random voters as well, which is pretty awesome.
I mean, that makes it so easy for you guys to get in there and vote. And
just literally just go vote.
Yeah, I mean, look, the players with the Red Bull fridge can have a really sweet setup for this stream. Like I know Conky's got some Red Bull back behind him over on the CS:GO broadcast. But you know, if you're a viewer and you want to earn that Red Bull, you know, you could put that in your own stream and have like a mountain of Red Bull behind you. You could be your own streamer. You could be maybe even joining us next season if you're good enough. And you know what? It's a real good way to test that actually, just to make sure you're ready for the pro level. Is the Esports Assessment Lab, and these guys have got a sweet little test you can go in and do. It's very scientific. Some real big brains worked on this one, you guys, because, well, it measures your own big brain and how big brain you are in certain areas. You know, you could be really good at pattern recognition, but maybe your reaction time needs a little bit of work. You can find out exactly what it is, and to do that, ! EAL for more info in the Twitch chat. And you can use our code LPL Gaming, all caps, no spaces, to give it a go for free for yourself. And you know what? Campo has given it a go himself, and you can see if you can beat him.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be quite a interesting to see how many people could beat his results, because the man is just an absolute machine.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if you can beat Campo, then surely we should see you here next season competing.
Hopefully.
Maybe you can get in through relegations, and maybe we've got to talk about relegations soon, Cthulhu, because some teams are getting locked in there at the moment. And, well, you know, as we're getting closer and closer, we've got to tie up these last few matches. But let's find out how we got here, because last night we had some absolute banger matches, and I'm starting this right from the get-go. In fact, round 2 yesterday between Elemental and Ferox, we had this moment from Repix. Like, this alone is an MVP-worthy performance.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things that it just... Repix kicked it off on round 2. Usually, like, all the big clutch plays, all the big pog moments do come out close to the end of the matchup. Repix just kicked it into the 6th gear straight off the bat.
And usually we get a bit of a break, you know, one happens and then we take like 1 or 2 games until we get the next one. Nope! Next round.
Round 3, yeah.
Round 3, Oda comes in and does almost the same thing. Now, spoiler alert, he does fail in this attempt, but it was a 1v5. He gets the 1v4, but then falls a little bit short of the 5th player. As you can see, he gets them all here, climbs through the window. Too many enemies, unfortunately. But the point is, Ferox was doing that sort of thing all night.
Oh yeah, Ferox got pretty much all of the needed clips really there. They managed to just show us some really good performance, namely Repix again. Like that person, we keep on talking about him on and on, but him and Odo were literally the biggest MVPs throughout that whole matchup from the side of Ferox.
Yeah, now Cairo himself had a real good go of being like that real good team player, always on the diffuser, always trying to get that win condition done, but this one got shut down. However, he did have a successful attempt a few rounds later, so props to that man as well. But this next match, Exto Gaming versus Roflcopter, it was called out to be one of the most exciting matches of the season, and well, it was certainly something else.
It was quite something, to say at the very least. That match certainly had a few questions raised there, but look, at the end, just teams ended up having fun. A few attempts at bonking were made, but unfortunately for Deptra, that never really happened. But at the end, it was still a 2-0 victory for Roflcopter.
Yeah, so with that, they actually secure themselves right at the very top of the leaderboard, so they'll be totally stoked to have that one all locked in, and turns out it's all Greyhound Gaming, so look, those guys must have done a spectacular performance. We haven't seen them all season and they're still showing up. But guys, obviously that was the wrong leaderboard, but the point I was getting at was, of course, Roflcopter, locked in at the very top. You can kind of imagine it in your head. They are more than a 2-0 from any other team overtaking them just yet, so they've basically guaranteed their spot in the grand finals. Or at least in the playoffs, sorry.
At least in the playoffs, yeah. Roflcopter certainly has managed to establish some dominance. I don't think they will end up pulling an Exto from Season 2, as their final game is going to be against ShadowNet in the next week. So, look, things could really happen. An upset certainly could be on the way, but statistically speaking, there's not a whole lot of ways to really drop out of the playoffs, really, for Roflcopter.
Yep.
But yeah.
We've got to talk about the matches now, though, that we're having tonight, because they're very important for kind of 2 flip sides of the reasons. Now, of course, we didn't get the whole look at the leaderboard, but what I can tell you is that tonight's matches between, PC419 versus Bance, and then the second match being Skyfire versus ShadowNet. The important thing here is for PC419 and Skyfire, they both want the 2-0, because what that means is it secures a spot in the top 4, locks in the prize money, and importantly, lets them go for even more, making their way in the playoffs.
Yeah, so tonight's games, so on one spectrum, like you said, it's more so kind of about locking in the playoffs. On the other side of the spectrum, it's, well, for Bance, it's more so just to kind of play for the fact of not getting themselves in a relegation bracket. For ShadowNet, they're more so kind of just playing for glory, or rather just for an upset here, and maybe potentially set themselves up for maybe a better seeding, because at the moment things are certainly not looking too favorable for them, because if they do want to even have a chance at getting out of relegation, they do need to win both this week's matchup as well as the next week to even be in to contest.
Yep, and it needs to be 2-0, right? Like, they cannot drop a map at all for ShadowNet if they want to, avoid relegations, which might just be off the table. But we'll get to that in the second match. It's all about this first match. This one's going to be about PC419 securing a spot and whether bands can crack their own way in, maybe make an upset. But first up, PC419, all freshly shaven as usual. Now, Shaq seems to be a permanent member of the roster right now. He's clearly got the head for it. So look, he's slotted in so well to this lineup.
Yeah, look, he's been a fantastic addition to PC419. The man was able to get a fair few really good frags, as well as that. Just some of the Zoff plays that the man can pull off on a few frequent occasions. It's certainly quite a sight to behold, really.
Yeah, but I mean, just all things considered, PC419 are just all individually a very scary lineup. And, they have the favorites here tonight for a reason. But let's take a look at their opponents who are looking for that upset, who are looking to avoid relegations, and who have also dressed up nicely for us for Halloween as well. I love the devil costume coming out from Cordial here. It's very, very on point. Maybe, 4 days too late for Halloween. But it's still, hey, better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as well as that, just festive spirit throughout the whole of the roster. Look, all of them looking like they're just about to ready to game it out. So I'm just excited to see how well can they perform, because they certainly have seen quite an upgrade in their performance comparative to Season 2. And Cordial was one of the players that has been pulling up some amazing plays pretty consistently as well.
Yeah, definitely, what one could call a hero, a savior for some of the rounds for Vance, but, so far, a lot of these upsets we've been calling haven't just made it over the line. So maybe they get it tonight, and maybe it comes down to that individual level as well. So looking at our key player matchup next, this is going to be perhaps where it does come down to it. Pun on one side, Cordial on the other. It's like having the angel and the devil on your shoulders. Like, who's giving you the good advice?
Yeah, look, here it could be also almost like a battle, like an anime battle between the two of them. Pun kind of being part of the top dog team, kind of looking at Cordial as like, oh, are you approaching me?
Or just choose your fighter.
Or choose your fighter, choose your destiny. And look, I'm just excited how both of these players can stack up, because I feel like on individual level, both of these players can really clutch up and pull off some really awesome MVP material.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the matches have come down to just, who shows up on the night, and a lot of it does come down to just individually who's showing up on the night. Someone's not having such a hot game compared to what they normally go through. That can be the difference on whether they win or lose. So, a reminder to everyone, you guys, 2-0 is what PC419 are looking for. Now, a drawed series, it's not the end of the world, but it would just be so much easier for them if they locked in that spot right this week and not worry for week number 7.
Yeah, whereas for Bans, even a single point would really get them out of the current rut that is going to be potential for the relegation, because they're still in a tiebreaker between themselves and Elemental. Elemental has still yet to score even another map win, whereas for Bans, if they do manage to get themselves out a map win even in this matchup, that will be a huge still opportunity for them, because that even temporarily gets them out of that position of relegations.
Well, Bans, their map pick is going to be Cathay. Now, of course, PC419, they know it's LPL Pro, so they've picked up Oregon. They know that they love that map, but we might not even get a chance to talk about Cathay until we get to a Cthulhu, because Oregon is prepped and ready.
Alrighty. Bans Gaming to actually kick things off on a defense should be a pretty cool thing to witness, because that should set them up for just a solid beginning and potentially a few extra rounds before they will need to go to attack, which could potentially be one of their rather more difficult parts to really play out. But with Thatcher ban being the first one, this does set us up for potentially just about as simple, or rather similar, of a play like we used to seeing with introduction of Kali, maybe even Twitch, and maybe some Zofia. With Jackal now out of the equation as well, that does signify that PC419 are very much intending to go for quite a roam game.
Yeah, and the Thatcher ban as well kind of suggests that, defense want to play around with things like the Kai and things like the Bandit as well, if they want to throw that into the mix too. The first defense ban now coming up for PC419.
Okay.
Wamai, really common operator, commonly used to just hold the attic, so why not just get him out of here?
I mean, it's more so, at least personally for me, it's more so a question of consistency, because we've been seeing more and more of these Wamai bans, especially as of yesterday, given that man, I don't think, got a whole lot of action especially on even the the second matchup, I believe.
He was. I don't think we saw him in Clubhouse at all.
Yeah. I don't know. Wait, that was first matchup that we saw Womai out on both of the maps actually, both Clubhouse and Oregon, because Ferox played both Clubhouse and Oregon, and on neither of the maps we saw Womai really be picked. So yeah, with that said, Mira is the one to close out the ban phase. So looking at the lineup so far for bans, a clash pick from Mixes is obviously a bait at this point, and well, there we go. It's a Goyo pick to just make it a little bit more tough for the attack to really advance anywhere quickly.
You know, eventually a team's going to lock in that clash one day, and someone's going to fall for it, but
Someone's gonna do it, yeah.
for now, we don't get to that day. Mixes goes instead with the Goyo. And hey, look, his name actually looks like how you pronounce it now.
Yeah, Nath decided to go
Nath too!
for more conventional ways. There we go.
Hello's got an E instead of a 3 now. They're all making it easy for us. Cthulhu, except Cordial. I mean, Tricks.
No, well, with Cordial, he stuck with it for quite a while, so can't really give him all the smack. Same goes for Tracy even as well. Man has been seeing kind of in and out, kind of. Oh no!
Hang on.
Shoot out those ankles.
Well, that's an awkward start, especially depending on how Tracy plays. This could actually mean a fair amount. Well, hang on. This is an ambitious little Banshee sprinting out to throw that in.
They did it before. Bans did the setup before, so I'm more so just I'm amused that they just sticking to that idea.
Oh, Nath. I love this little trick. This can go very badly if it doesn't pull off, but hey, look, if he pulls off this prank in round number 1, it sets a really good tone for this match. But hey, look, he's just keeping watch for now, but you know someone's going to be coming down there from PC419. You've got Tesla already on it for lockdown, but it's not a big target for them. At least not for now, Cthulhu.
Not at all, really. Although he does have a perfect pixel angle right on that shield, so the moment somebody tries to poke out, the melon will be popped very quickly. And, well, right now for PC419, they're doing a very smart thing. They're just taking control of the watchtower and the stairs and seeing if they can wedge out the defenders that way and then take control of the bunker, essentially.
Yeah, they'll probably need one more avenue, like, say, through the freezer instead, because, you know, it doesn't look like they're going to be making it through the bunker with just Tesla. Maybe he can find a way to get it done. It's a Zofia, so he does have the amount of utility, but I spied at least one ADS, so he might need a little bit of help if he wants to go through that way. Otherwise, they could just abandon it. You never know, but here we go. Vlad eventually going to get this hatch nice and open. Mixes is waiting, so he's got to be careful with where he's standing, but it's Nath actually.
All right.
The long con finally plays off, and in fact, he sticks around to see if there's anything else, but nothing else for now.
I'm liking what Nath did, essentially. Just going for the poke, get the frag, and then bail out as quickly as possible. So, nicely done. Managed to kind of redeem himself for the fact that Nath did shoot out the ankles of his own teammate with the full 5 rounds, which was kind of funny to witness. But, look, this is a solid beginning for Bans. Let's just say that. For PC419, losing Tesla is not the end of the round, but it's certainly going to introduce a few uncertainties.
Yeah, and they've also actually claimed the bunker now, and, you know, without too much casualties, right, they can easily get the breach down as well. This should be pretty good for them.
But the time, though, is going to be of the essence, because 45 seconds remaining, and already such a long amount of time has been drained. Is going to be
Smokes
huge.
ready.
Smokes is ready, yeah, but there's also Candela's ready from Steffi. He's playing Ying, so he could definitely deal quite some damage to the to the eyes and to the retinas of the defenders. And there we go. Nathan's fully blinded, so Mixes or Hello needs to go in to assist the teammates, or rather, actually, Tracy's smoke grenades should do that. Steffi gets a team kill, unfortunately, there, while Shag does frag out. So right now, this is all looking like it's about to fall apart, although Pun has some other plans. 1v3 situation, 13 seconds, not a whole lot of things can be done. That is it for round number 1, as Bans take a pretty solid win here.
Yeah, and it looked real fun for that as well. I mean, they finally did take control of that bunker back, but did quickly lose it. But jumping back into it, obviously they got the kills back on the entry. Tesla getting killed real, I'd say early, but it wasn't really that early because they burnt a bit of time.
Yeah, but it's theoretically early into the gunfights, because that was pretty much the first blood that was
But that was like 1 minute 30 in.
True, true. Well, either way, this is a solid beginning, and bands do exactly know how to essentially, well, drain time. That Melusi device, I don't think it did a whole lot of things really for bands, although it did keep Tesla off even deciding to pressure that double door bunker. So I suppose it did its job at least passively.
It's also just so good right here for Nath, right? You can lock down this one hallway so easily. You can defend it with one person, make it a really strong defense with two people if you really want to. You know there's a heavy push coming from that way. And the Melusi device, the Banshee's just help out so much. So definitely a good choice. I like it coming into this one. But let's also talk about the Ying, because it's back, Cthulhu. It's coming in for round 2. But I think it also relates back to the Wamai ban as well, because you're left with only Jaeger. If you can deal with all those ADS, then you know, Ying herself can deal with all those ADS. You know, you can find them out. You know, there's no magnets, you know, now or later on in the round. So this is clearly something coming out for PC419.
Yeah, this was intentional decision from PC419, which could potentially bite back at them once they go onto defense. But the decision to bring in Ying and ban out Wamai, certainly well, it has some sense in it, because, well, with Ying you can pretty much solo drain all 3 of the Jaeger charges. It's just more so how you utilize the rest of your utility after that, and if you're able to kind of place your cluster charge there. But unfortunately for Vlad, he won't be playing for a whole lot of time, because, well, that's the Maverick out of the board, and Nath is just continuing his roam game. He did a pretty decent roam game previously as an alibi during the downstairs hold, and here with a run out, well, that's exactly what you need to kick things off.
And no one's near him either, so he can just slink right back into the shadows and just be that thorn in the side for PC419 throughout this attack, who are now a man down. No Maverick is going to be kind of annoying, but hey, they've got Pun for the ace, so the doors can be opened if they need to be.
Again, that somewhat of a question of about redundancy does manage to come in some time, and maybe we shall be seeing an impact of that sometime later. But for now, it just seems that right now, PC419 not really too fussed about the fact that they lost Vlad, minus the fact that they did lose the frag grenades. That's about all of the issues. But right now, the thing is that Steffi needs to be the entry. He still, I believe, has at least some of the smoke grenades, but it's Tesla to open up the scoreline for PC though.
Oh, and they got Tracy too, so no more smoke for the later on stage of the game. That gives PC419 a lot more time to work with. And setting up the Candelas already. People get blinded, but who gets killed? It's going to be Mixers. At the end of the day, Shaq in a bit of danger, but doesn't matter if they know that he's there, because he can still win those fights. Tesla will lose this one to Hello, who's got 1 million bullets up in his gun right now, but that plant is happening, Cthulhu. Can they even deny it?
Yeah, the plant is actually not being denied at all, because it's actually in a very different place here comparative to the usual spot, and well, Shaq truly knows about that. There's the flank watch as well by Pun, and so there we go. The moment PC419 were able to take a very strong foothold right at the trophy, that was all that she wrote, so good job.
Yeah, getting Tracy on the return, you know, kind of in revenge, that was where they were able to turn it around. You know, imagine if they were running through, you know, smoke bombs during all of that, you know, constantly choking on the gas, and luckily they didn't have to deal with that. That was really quite nice, especially because they didn't have any other ways inside, because they lost Vlad early on. So again, we got to watch Nath. We got to make sure, you know, if we're a PC419 fan at least, that Nath doesn't just get the freedom to do runouts like that. Now that was a very long run out, very calculated, that he did last time. So I wonder if, you know, even PC419 may be caught out by surprise by it, but
they possibly did.
I mean, obviously were, because they, you know, got the kill, but
locate and defuse bomb.
maybe not anymore after this. They should be looking ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, what's interesting here as well is the fact that we actually see PC419 swap over from the double hard breach to only a singular hard breach that is going to be Pun. And with Vlad going as a buck, I'm assuming there's going to be plentiful amount of the vertical gameplay as well here to try to maybe wedge out some of the defenders, say from the kids' bedroom, from the main bunks. Yeah, we'll obviously have to see. But another thing to also point out is that PC419 actually went for a completely different plan spot, which was right by that broken mirror, which is usually probably the most open area to plant. And well, that did allow them to actually stay out of the reach of Hello's Maestro cameras.
Yeah, so like, obviously just reading their opponents really well, knowing that the camera's there, so just put it somewhere else. Doesn't matter, as long as the camera can't see it, but we have evened it up now, Cthulhu. It's 1 apiece, and here we go. Now, Tesla on the entry already. Remember, we've got to watch out for Nath. He's going to be on the hunt. Vlad as well, more important for him, because he needs to be able to roam a lot.
Exactly, and with the fact that they are making a dual entry, oh, didn't try to look out for Rome, but instead it's Tracy on the vertical play. Fantastic angle, gotta say, which I don't think even I really expected from them. And well, there we go, that's an early frag once again. This time it's on Shaq. Shaq was one of the more so impactful players, especially in round number 2. So with him out of the equation, things are certainly going to be a little bit shakier, but 4v5 is still very much workable for PC419.
Vlad's in a great position just below the site, though. Like,
Exactly.
he can definitely force people into really awkward spots, or even just flat out get the kill, but it's dangerous. He's got to be careful. Obviously, these holes are going to be his death if he doesn't pay attention to them. So, let's see the value that he can get. Already finding one defender, but forcing them out. Maybe they can find a crossfire, but nothing just yet. Look at this health bar for Cordial. He's quite low, but he's on the hunt.
Yeah, Cordial definitely did take quite some damage there.
Loading new mag.
Need to be will be forced to fall back from his position, but really it's down to Vlad really to open up the score lines. Finally, though, some more vertical play, and that's Tracy's second kill coming out. As now PC419 are starting to run a little bit more scarce in their utility, although Steffi has a completely different set of plans for that as the Candelas do start popping out, and he still has 2 more, so he could very much cause just a full-blown chaos there. Another breach, another peek, and well, that's another kill. Tracy with a triple, and it's a complete shutdown by Bans, as it's looking like they are very much prepared now for anything that PC419 are planning to throw at them.
Yeah, I mean, just a real, I want to say confusing push coming out from PC419 at the end there. I mean, a lot of them was just walking into the lines of sight, so easy pickups there for Bans, but again, you got to remember how they started that off. They shut down any kind of nonsense from below. Vlad did get 1 kill on the buck from below, but he kind of needed to make it a 2-for-1 after they already lost, I think it was Tesla. I know it was Shaq. Shaq on the Ash.
Shaq, yeah.
You know, once they lost Shaq, he kind of needed to get a 2-for-1 or just, you know, 1 for free. But unfortunately, he got caught out in return, so that was their only real saving grace there. But here we go, the Ying is once more coming on back, so does not look like the plan's going to be changing for PC419. But hey, look, Bance, they love that alibi, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, alibi pick by Nath on Laundry is almost like his now kind of key pick here. It did work out pretty well, but that's a...
Well, you know what that means.
It's a bit of a yikers there. Unfortunately, we do get a call for a rehost, which I believe will be approved. Well, that really should be.
Well, I mean, I don't think he would have DC'd on purpose, so...
Yeah, unfortunate crash is certainly there, and the rehost did actually get approved, so we are going to be returning back to us for a little bit longer to just talk about what we so far seen, because look, so far I'm liking what Band's been doing. They've been able to just lock it down. They're not really expanding too far. First 2 rounds were getting a little bit ambitious on some of the runouts, some of the peaks. But the moment kind of the Band's roster realized that PC419 started adjusting, completely switched it around. For Kid's Bedroom, went in for the vertical play, which seemed to have worked out perfectly because they managed to catch out 2 of the bigger fraggers, or bigger kind of flashier players, I suppose, that is Vlad and Shaq. And kind of from there on, they just kind of managed to snowball it, force PC419 to start going through the white stairs, through the armory stairs, and kind of at that point, it was pretty much just a lost round.
Another really good thing for Bance that's happening right now is Nath, actually.
Yes.
He's been basically never caught while on the defense. Like, he's been able to hide out roaming for a long time, buy out a huge amount of time, and also go for those runouts too. So he's getting a ton of value. And even in, the round we just saw where he wasn't really present too much, but he still did his job, right? You know, still stayed alive for longer than any roamer really should. and you know, basically was just constantly there in the back of the minds of PC419. Like, where's Nath? Is he going to run out? Is he below me?
Yeah.
Is there a C4 coming out somewhere? Who knows?
Yeah, the fact that Nath was able to well and truly kind of get in the heads of PC419, at least maybe even briefly, is definitely a big thing here for him to kind of kickstart this whole matchup, which could be potentially aiming for a win, but that's still a very far-fetched idea.
I mean, they're in the lead.
They are in the lead, but we've seen a fair few times when the team would get initially a lead and then proceed to essentially lose out 3 or 4 rounds in a row, and after that, we'll pretty much can't really come back from that. But I gotta say, at least in the last round, I was quite, I suppose, amused is probably the best way to describe it, is the fact that out of all of the operators on defense, we had Jaeger for fragging, we had Nath on the Melusi to frag. Out of all of them, it was Tracy with Smoke SMG11 from up above that gets a triple kill just like that.
Hey man, you can control that recoil. You can get a lot of
It
good
is a
kills with
beastly
that gun.
yes.
Yeah, very hard to control, but it can definitely pull off some magic just like that. But I mean, hey, look, they managed to mess him around when he was trying to just have a comfy little sit in the corner. So you know you're gonna just take care of those munchkins down below. But that looks like a full lobby to me. So we are just moments away from getting back into the game. We're only a few rounds in. We're jumping back into round 4. I think we're up to, yeah, it was 2-1.
Yep.
So round 4 will be where we're getting back on in there. And, you know, I mean, Bants are feeling like they're on a roll. It's feeling like this is Bants showing up. So we know that they're here to play. Is PC419 ready to respond? I guess we've got maybe a few more rounds to find out for sure. But I know that Bants are ready to stop them.
Yeah, Bants certainly looking quite prepared. PC419 are yet to kind of wake up. They had a few good setups, but yeah, look, it's certainly looking like this could be a very potent matchup to really get into.
Yeah.
Bants certainly have been putting quite some time and quite some work into the VOD review. And, well, for PC419, it almost looks like they kind of went into the match with the more so of an idea of, hey, let's kind of still have some fun with some unorthodox picks, and by unorthodox picks I mean the Ying pick, and try to kind of make it viable pick there.
I don't know about that, because I think the Ying is a really cool little addition. I think it's not necessarily them just trying to see if they can get away with it, but more so seeing how it works. And you know, in practice, sure, it hasn't worked out the last few rounds, but we've only seen half of one attacking side. I think the idea is okay.
Idea is there, yeah. It's more so just the execution, because the issue is that they are not aggressive enough for Ying to actually work properly. Because the beauty of Ying is you play off the momentum of her own Candelas. It's a similar kind of concept that I suppose, at least the way how I personally see it, is how you can play Lion. Because with Lion, the moment you pop in an EU1D, the scan starts, and you just go in for a swing if you have already previously known the whereabouts of the defender. So similar kind of concept here. For the way how PC419 were utilizing, it's more so just to kind of maybe wedge out some of the defenders and kind of make them start running around like headless chickens whilst they're blind. But it seemed to not have really at least full 100% worked, although round 2 is a completely opposite reaction to that, where we saw a really good Candela charge fly into the attic and Shaq able to pick up a double kill from that play. So
yeah.
It has some good synergy, but it seems that right now PC419 are still kind of figuring out that comp.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, you've got Bants who are currently answering it pretty well, who have obviously also shown up to do their homework, so they do definitely know what's going on. But yeah, I do want to see, you know, a few more rounds from this Ying to see if it can pop out. I think there's definitely some good ideas there. We saw, you know, maybe some sparkles of it in the very first round, actually, where they're about to collapse onto the laundry site. But by that point, you know, they'd already been bled out a little bit too much. They'd lost Tesla and all that. So, you know, it was always going to be a hard one. But yeah, I don't think there was quite the confidence or the push behind that one to really make it effective, right? You've got to be, like you're saying, decisive and swift when you throw out those Candelas, and you've got to have your boys having your back as well.
Yeah,
you know, you've got to have the whole squad there.
Yeah. Well, Whilst we are setting things up, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately technical difficulties are a little bit more severe as we initially thought. So
Got to rehost the rehost.
Yeah, got to rehost the rehost, but we are going to be back in just a short bit after a quick ad break, and we'll go straight right into Oregon as quickly as possible.
Welcome back, everyone. We're just getting through a few little rehost technicalities to make sure we've got the lobby right up and ready to go. If you're just joining us, don't worry. You've only missed about 3 rounds. We're up to round number 4. Currently, Bant's in the lead against PC419. It's only 1 round. Who knows? Anything could happen. But, you know, if you're a lover of the underdog stories, then maybe today's match is for you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, just maybe. We only fairly early into the game, so things could definitely change here. But it's certainly a solid beginning for Bants. We won't deny that. They've managed to have a pretty good defense on the first round in Laundry. And then Kids, after the second attempt, finally managed to make it work. Got some very good vertical play, and well, from there on just kind of made it through and pushed the scoreline into their favor. Although they are only 1 point ahead, that still gives them a little bit more breathing room, I suppose, for this match.
Yeah.
And the most interesting thing to me more so here is just the fact that this is PC419's map pick.
That's true.
Bants did pick Cafe, so I'm curious how will Bants really perform on their own map pick. And maybe PC419 did do quite some VOD review as well. But without further ado, we are going to be going right into the Oregon as well. Same ops and site will be picked for round number 4, so won't be seeing a whole lot of changes. And
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, well, we are going to be going back to Laundry, and we should be seeing Nath bring in the alibi. Amongst all that. Yeah, he did 6-pick off Castle, so that's all staying well and true there, so that's all fine and dandy. Apart from that, well, look, PC419 returning Vlad to the Maverick, who did manage to get a few openings before going down, so that's a warranted kind of decision.
But he also got killed on entry by Nath in another round, so...
That is true. So, we'll have to keep an eye out, because last time when they did approach the Laundry site, they pretty much just went in and took control of the watchtower stairs, and from there kind of made the push towards the meeting room. So, as long as they kind of repeat this very same decision and approach, this should be fine. But again, a whole lot of things could change. Hello could really just go in for a swing and get the frag, so we'll have to see. As long as Nate doesn't just shoot out the ankles of Tracy, that's all fine.
Yeah, Tracy wants to keep those ankles on. Very, very sure about that one. Did he? No. He was Tracy with an X before. That's right. Players have changed names, so that's all right. Here we go. Round number 4, and Mixers is rather far from the site, I've got to say. He is on a bit of a run, throwing up a bit of a doorway, and should be able to rotate back down without too much trouble, but I was getting a little worried. The old roaming Goyo.
I mean, he is a 2-speed operator, so he can very much afford that. And I do remember when Goyo was first released, a whole lot of debate about the fact that he has the ACOG on a TCSG. Well, now it's a 2-time scope. On a 2-speed operator, that is definitely quite something to witness. So here for now is just, business as usual for PC419. Clear out the watchtower stairs, and from there on just go in for the push and maybe open up a few avenues for Vlad to go in for the blowtorching the hatch, maybe opening up whatever anything else really needed. Well, there we go. The man will be starting to get rid of the hatch more so, and meanwhile I'm assuming Ace's charges will be prepped for the bunker.
Yeah, I mean, they used it last time in the bunkers, so imagine it'll go there again. Vlad, once he gets his hatch open as well, it's just going to add another little bit of worry for Bants to keep paying attention to. He's also got the little pixel angle to go for as well. Now, Shaq has actually gone away from the main stairs, so I wonder if they've got any presence at all. I don't see any silhouettes hanging out there, so bunker might be a pretty big point of contention here. 3 members of PC419 all coming in. We're halfway through the round now too. Tesla's got a really great little angle, so if anyone walks by, he should be able to catch them out. Nate actually forced back while his teammate is obliterated in front of his very eyes.
think poor Nate just witnessed the murder right in front of him, but that was a very good grenade from Lag, gotta say. Very well cooked and got rid of both the shield and the person behind the shield. So what more could you ask for?
Double whammy.
Grenade. Yeah, double whammy. Exactly. Nate did manage to run away from all of this trouble with barely any damage taken, so that's another good thing. But right now with the breach now going to start to happen, things are about to go down. Yes, the opponent did just shoot out the second charge of the Selma, but that is just to open up just a peak point rather than a rotation, so that it partially still prevents the flank around once they decide to go for the full-blown portions of the site.
Yeah, not a lot of hiding places left for Vance anymore as Nathan's fallen down as well. You can see they're all hanging very far back right now. And this is where the push comes in. Those first gas grenades have already started going out, but the timer is pretty low. The Candela's popping out too. Good gas grenade cuts Shaq's health in half. And now Cordial, he's coming in for the flank. This is the big one he's waiting for. Cuts the diffuser in half. And can they get it in 10 seconds? Cordial goes down, and it's all PC419. Only one left, and there he goes down. Steffi T with a triple to clean up the round.
Steffi T feeling and looking hot as all heck. Getting that triple at the end, flicking from one target to another, just going in. Almost going through like a shooting course there for himself, just getting his practice on.
Yeah, some people warm up in team mode, some people warm up in Sugar Fright. Well, Steffi warms up in pro matches.
Steffi warms up in officials, yeah, that's one way to go about it. Although, I mean, I know a few people who actually perform much better during games without even warming up, because they actually use up most of their energy during warm-ups.
Can you use most of your energy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess yeah. It is a balance on like how much you warm up. Because you got to remember, a lot of players just play this game every day, all day. So there's a reason they're good at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely don't want to wear yourself out for a pro match for sure. But we are going back downstairs, Cthulhu. It was a fun little battle before for Bance, but losing Mixes halfway into the round, thanks to that sick frag, really set them back far. I mean, got so much value with one piece of utility. The kill, the shield down, the presence, it forced Nate back as well. So, they'll probably look to do something similar again, but Mixes should be ready this time.
Good adaptation, though, by Cordial, moving around some of these ADSs to make sure that next time Mixes will not get fragged out that easily, so should be still able to stay alive for a little bit longer. Hello, though, decides to still use one of the Banshee devices just outside of the bunker, which should get him spotted, so at the very least there is an indication that there is a similar setup for PC419.
I mean, it's so worth it though. I mean, look at how many people and how late PC419 start paying attention to the bunker. Oh, the stairs. Some early pushed up defense. But Shaq's going to be ready for this one. But they've already left. They've already retreated. However, you better hope those stairs above him are covered and nice and clear. Luckily, we know that they are, but that could be another point of contention. Here we go. Tesla's always hanging out at this bunker and always catching out a little bit of info too. Will Nathan make a push? No. He will, but it's going to be towards the stairs. He can hear them just above him. Not going to be too much to escape from where he is sitting right now, so he's got to hope that it wins out. He does not lose out any of these fights. He's not going to be able to retreat.
Yeah, it seems that right now it's a bit of a peculiar situation because Nathan kind of wants to help Hello, but kind of also wants to help Mixes. And because right now both the places are being pressured, this is going to be quite an issue. Another thing as well is the moment there's going to be an even bigger presence on these watchtower stairs, that ADS is going to be gone and shot out. So right now, PC419, they just need to keep amping up the pressure. They already gotten rid of... No, they haven't actually gotten rid of the Lucy device just yet. Oh no, wait, they did. Okay, so it's just the silhouette that remained. But yeah, with the Melissa device out, they now can fully and truly push up the bunker, and from there on, that does force Mixes out of his position as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a big question of how long he can stay here. There's the frag that took him out last time, but this time he's going to be able to get out of here. 5 full health bars this time, Cthulhu. Basically the only difference between this round and last round as we enter the final minute. This is where PC419 are going to want to make that push towards the bunker, but they haven't made it down the stairs all the way around the corner for Steffi. who really wants to get that Candela inside. That is where we start kicking things off. But we have all the smoke bombs ready for Tracy to throw out. He's going to be able to buy some time, but it didn't work out last time. Not well enough.
Already the breaches are starting to go in. Oh, Nate tried to go for a peekaboo, but Steffi was already prepared for that very thing. Unfortunately, for Bans, this is quite a large opener. So right now they need to compensate it all with a heap of the utility, and namely Tracy's smoke grenade. So right now, if Cordial is able to hold his position really well in the freezer, this could be huge.
He came from this place last time though, so again they'll be ready for him. Candela's out, everyone's blind, but Bans have survived it for now. That smoke not catching Pun on the plant, and Bans are falling to everyone from PC419. It's just hello to remain. But with the plant down, he'll lose his life as well. PC419 pull out another beautiful round.
Very nicely done, a much more coordinated push there by PC419, as it seems that Bans are kind of almost feeling a little bit lost the moment they kind of needing to contest almost 4, if not 5 different angles before they can push out towards that planter. It seems that it's quite a rough job to really work around. Maybe an introduction of say a Kaid could be the difference maker here. Or maybe even a Bandit pick, just to slow down at least the breaches of that ace, because that ace
even a mute.
Even a mute, yeah, just preventing that breach for as long as possible. That mute could be doing quite a whole lot of things. And thankfully, we do see a change, but for a completely different side. That is going to be Mixes actually bringing in Akayat instead of the Goyo.
Same kind of deal though. There are certain walls that you really do not want to have open so easily, so Kaid's going to be able to jump up there and Mixes can lock that entry up, presumably up in the attic, but I guess we'll see for now. But yeah, Ban's now falling behind, so it's been a while since they picked up a round. 2 rounds now, in fact. So they'll have to watch out for that one, but yeah. The big thing has got to be Mixes changing off the Goyo, so they're gonna go away a little bit from that heavy turtle comp that they were just playing. You know, you can notice they were hanging very far back. You know, Goyo, Smoke, both operators that love to anchor pretty hard. Maestro as well. So, you know, there's still certainly elements of that here, but Kaid's he's got a little more flexibility.
Yeah, Kaid just offers a little bit more, or rather just a slightly different maybe role for all of that. It seems that he is actually going to be holding around this position, and Nath is actually going to be going for a roam. I believe Pun's drone should at least get some good knowledge about the run out. There's the run out happening, and actually gets the kill. Nath able to run away mostly scot-free. No kill will be traded out by PC419.
He actually gets out with his life. At least they traded some damage back onto him, but this is still the same problem. Now they've got to approach the side, a man down, and you have no idea where Nath is. He's run off into no man's land. He could be back on the side for all we know. So Vance, I mean, they've got that little option in their pocket. Cordial's been that option the last few rounds, so it's going to be up to Nath this time.
Yeah, Nath could continue the roam, but I think at this point it will be quite dangerous for him to do that very thing. Maybe a pre-play C4 could do the job, but for now it seems that PC419 are quite dead set on just taking control of the trophy, taking control of the master bedroom, and then going in for the swing. As for now, it's just going in and trying to get rid of as much utility as possible. Shaq using his breaching charge as well to get rid of the Maestro camera, and rightfully so will be able to do that very thing. But already quite a fair bit of utility has been used up between Tesla and Shaq. So right now, Cordial, we need to just start applying some more actual gunpowder to try to prevent any pushes.
And Nate's actually gone back to the site, so maybe they're not so worried after all about it. They can approach this very head on, and I'm about to do exactly that. Hello, we'll be able to deny that one. I think that one just got denied
Second
pretty
one
easily.
as well, yeah.
Yeah, actually second one too, but they should be able to open it up as he's already moving away from it, pinging it out to, but Pun has his drone inside. He's going to be able to know exactly where he can peek out and exactly where he should be peeking to get those frags. He just got the info on 3 operators, so he's got a lot to run off for now. What's he going to be able to pull out of this one? Bance pushed up against the wall. More members, but that clock now ticking down. Can PC419 do it without Vlad, without the Maverick? We'll have to see, because these Candelas, it's come down a lot to them. Once they pop off, you know that's when the fight begins. But Cthulhu, we might just have to wait for Shaq to get to the party. Or maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. It's Tesla who is making the first steps here to potential victory. Nate finally gets shut down, and the Candelas do come around. A crossfire between Hello and Cordial did manage to bring in just the right, well, return. And, well, finally, Shaq does manage to come back to the party. His smoke grenades are also coming around, but it won't be damaging Fun at all. Instead, it's Shaq that is taking quite some damage. Plant will be stuck. No damage has been dealt, but Bans do manage to retaliate. It's all down to Tesla, but it's a post-plant situation.
Yeah, but I mean, look at his health. Can he even defend it? It looks like the answer is going to be no. So, with that, Vance should be able to disable this diffuser. No problemo. Evening it up, and then we're going to swap sides.
There we go. Evening out the scoreline 3 apiece is certainly a phenomenal way for Vance to really kick things off here, especially against the team that is currently considered one of the kind of the bigger teams in LPL Pro. Currently just about to maybe contest for that maybe second place even if they do win a 2-0. Apart from that, right now, Bans are currently on the way to potentially make an upset.
Yeah, but we've been here before, Cthulhu, so we've got to hold our breath a little bit for Bans. Remember, you know, we've said it about them, we've said it about ShadowNet, we've said it about Elemental, that, you know, they may not be having the hottest games, but they come close in so many of these matches. They might not score the points at the end, but they come close and make the other team work for it. But this could be the first time they managed to cross that finish line. But we say that almost every week when the situation pops up again, Cthulhu.
Now, here's the cool thing. Bans actually swap things around a little bit. So, Hello now taking control of IQ, who's usually being picked by Cordial. Cordial decided to swap over to a more so just even bigger of a fragger role, going from an IQ to an Ash, with arguably a better DPS gun as well as that some breaching utility. So what Bans is actually going for is a bit more of a kind of simple utility plan, which is just 2 hard breaches, 2 soft breaches, and an IQ to kind of be able to at the very least spot well, before they make a push any of the kind of electrical utility. And that could most certainly help with, say, getting rid of some of these Melusi devices, the ADSs, the Kai charges as well. So, not a bad idea, although I'm not too sure how viable will the IQ be on the bunker, comparative to, say, I pick, say, something like even dining kitchen or even kids bedroom.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of soft floors you're going to be able to kill any utility through. It's mostly going to be spotting them out, mostly possibly for the gun as well, but I guess we'll find out. Pretty hard to push it back, you know, through the utility on the bunker. You usually know where it is anyway, but here we are. Nath, I mean, he knows what it's like. When you're on the other side, you know you can go to those spawn peaks, so he's going to check them out. Vlad, unfortunately, you know, he set up a nice little party for everyone to come inside, but no one is showing up.
A bomb has been located.
Not at all.
Poor man.
Yeah. Anyway, right now it's just the band's actually looking for an interesting idea of just clearing out top down almost. They are full-blown expecting to have some huge amount of roam from PC419, but none will be found because all 5 members are actually playing downstairs, which is another thing that could have been affected by the bans, given the fact that it was PC419 that banned a Jackal. So it's more so just maybe bans thinking, well, because they banned a Jackal, could they be roaming? That open hatch as well could be very much telling that very similar story as well. So here for bans, it's more so just either doubting those decisions and going in for those swings, because Steffi just took a chunk of damage. Same goes for Nate. But at the very least, they managed to push back that Melusi even further into the freezing.
But now tick-tock goes the clock, Cthulhu, because they spent about half the round clearing out for a roam that basically wasn't there. A bit of gunfire going on, so maybe there's a bit of a fight happening, but no one dying and no damage just for now. You can see PC419 have all huddled up nice and downstairs, but it's going to be from the stairs that the attacker side is going to be approaching. And Tesla, oh boy, cool guys, don't look at explosions. They live in them.
Yeah, they seem to be living them. And Nixus does do a very clever idea of just trying to distract anyone with the frag grenades, but oh my god, that is a wipe and a half. Vlad and Steffi rolling in with the punches, and just like that, in the matter of a second, the whole lineup of bans just completely fell apart.
And it's what happens when that clock gets too close to zero. You've got to start making rash decisions. You know that you can't just wait around and take it too carefully anymore. So with that, I mean, solid defense for sure. A little bit of fireback coming out from Bance on the attack, but all things considered, PC419 snagging that one back.
Here's an interesting thing. Vlad saying GR, is it good round or get wrecked? Because theoretically, both of those abbreviations apply to that round. Bance kind of did get wrecked at the end of that round. They got completely wiped in a matter of a second. But it's also a good round as to maybe the fact that PC419, well, rather Bance, did a pretty just good push overall. So it was more so that unfortunate timing.
Maybe he was talking to his team and mistyped.
Could be that.
Yeah, it might be that as well. Who knows? But for all things considered, I mean, his team picked up the round for sure, and you know, I think you're a little bit onto it with the Jackal ban and the mind games about whether there's going to be a big roaming presence. We'll have to pay attention to PC419 on this round, because is Shaq going to be roaming around? Is Tesla going to be roaming around? And Bance are going to be asking that question as they enter the building as well.
Well, for dining and kitchen, you do really need to have some vertical presence, so it's a borderline no-brainer to have at least 1 or 2 people playing around the second floor, especially kids' bedroom, or maybe even trophy. So with all those reinforcements now going down, it seems that we might be seeing, namely, just Tesla hanging around that area. I'm not too sure if Shaq is going to be present there. No, Shaq currently is on site. So look, at the moment it's just waiting for the action to come to them, rather than for PC419 to bring in the action back to Bance. As right now, quite a fair bit of utility being drained around, and I'm surprised just how much a partner is still being, well, alive and not being picked. As that is a very clever way of using the drone hole.
Yeah, I mean, completely safe, completely free. I mean, you get rid of the ADS as well. Eats up a little bit of your utility, but I think at this point, you're used to ADS eating up your utility. You kind of plan around it. So, all things considered, nice little, small, risk-free, but small victory there for Bance. But what can they get out of this one? Nate's actually very close, pushed up on the side, goes for his swing, but has his aimer a little bit too high, and so will be falling without sending back any damage at all.
Yeah, quite unfortunate for Nate. We'll probably need to reconsider the push next time, but for the time being, it's still a 4v5, still workable, and that could be come back on. Look, right now, Nexus could throw in a few frag grenades, and maybe Tracy could get rid of that warrior shield, because that is just about what needs to be done, and well, for shower room to be cleared out. So here, maybe a push is warranted, but it seems that right now Pun's position is very much as solid as it can get.
But look at how much time they've bought already. I mean, without Nath on the attack either, this is slowing down a lot. Bance still hunting right now. Finally, Tracy's going to be the next one to swing onto the site, but what can they find from it? Another breach hole is going to be made, so they've got multiple points of entry if they want it. But the gas grenade's now coming out, and the next breach was actually denied as well. And they've lost Pun, so at least they've evened it up.
At the very least, evened out, so that's good. Steffi T's position, though, is going to be quite rough to clear out, given that no frag grenades on Mixus, and I don't think there is any utility remaining on Cordial. So
yeah, he's gone.
With that, Tesla now being the next person to find a frag. Same goes for Steffi. Things are certainly falling apart here for Bance, but just as I say that, well, had a slight, for a brief half a second chance, but no, PC419 are quite unrelenting here, and we'll be grabbing yet another round to push the lead in 2 points now.
Yeah, actually starting to swing things pretty heavily in their favor now. 1 point away from that match point. They'd love to snag it, guarantee at least overtime for sure. Bance being left a little bit on the dust, I might say. Not able to pick up a single round on the attack just yet, but maybe they need to find their feet. It's going to be a retry, so they can have another chance to go back to the site and find a way back in. But look, these operators are coming back in and force. The mute is actually popping out. And I think this is going to get a lot of value, right, Cthulhu? Because Bance have been live droning pretty hard. They've been working Hang on, they're going to swap off the mute and make my point not matter.
No, your point is still very valid. The idea of a mute on the top floor is certainly a good decision, especially to deny the information. You are very correct in saying that. Bans were quite reliant on the drones.
So many good mute jammer spots on the side as well. Like, I mean, even just the attic alone, it's so good to just hold it there with the mute. But we have no mute Cthulhu, so instead, it's pun on the Valkyrie. So do we think shenanigans? It's PC419 very much in the lead, so maybe he does go for a bit of a run out here.
I don't think it's going to be more so runouts, though. It's just the camera is kind of around the area just to provide some maybe passive info gathering. But
we got the IQ.
Also, yeah, well, they have the IQ, so maybe it's a little bit of a kind of a overthought decision. But just wanted to pitch back in on the mute idea. The fact that while he could be quite useful here, the fact that pretty much 90% of the floor is breachable for the whole site, it is quite easy to get rid of them. Whereas Valkyrie cameras can be jammed in some of the more awkward positions, which does make it quite difficult for IQ to really get rid of. So that's one of the decisions. But oh, nade! Nicely done! First blood. And in such way to catch off one of the defenders, that is huge here.
That was so quick. That's pun now gone. I mean, I wonder, they must have had that drone down or something, because he found that one immediately. Maybe just pre-firing a point that's commonly defended, but hey, amazing little play from him. Sets his team up nice and easily. No shenanigans coming out from pun. Actually, maybe he was just predicting the run out.
Could be that. Well, I think Nate did catch pun right at that doorway to the trophy, so maybe he was still lighting up one of the cameras. But for the time being, Shaq is actually quite keen on going in for the peak. He's very close and personal here. Could actually claim a life with that SMG-11. That's a huge thing. Vlad just took quite some damage as well from the grenade from up above. So right now, Vlad is certainly in a whole lot of trouble, although this position is very different compared to what we so used to see from the defense on Oregon, especially on the top floor.
Yeah, they're pushed so far up, right up against the doors, right up against the windows. They've got the shields as well, so it's still going to be quite tricky to deal with them. But once you get past them here, it's just free reign to the site. Cordial, he wants that path, he wants that golden brick road to get all the way to the site, but two defenders still not taken care of. Plenty of ADS to look after them. First one now drained, but Tesla's getting aggressive. Oh, he misses his chance, misses his shot, but still somehow gets back. He's got the cover of Vlad to look after him.
Cordial did get a little bit spooked there. Did try to go maybe for a prone shot, but finally does get rid of the shield, but at the expense of his own life. Tesla able to run away with, well, just a little bit of a spook, as Shaq is just barely on any HP, and even a single just sneeze on him will pretty much kill him at this point. Whereas Shaq actually does manage to return more fire onto Hello and punish him as well for trying to hunt him down. So, well, that does put the Bands in a bit of a peculiar situation, although Tracy does manage to equalize the man count. Now it's down to Steffi, Vlad, and Shaq. One of them is very heavily tagged out. Vlad is just about slightly over half HP, so it's down to Steffi to start making the money moves.
Just get the Kali device and shoot near Shaq. That should get him, but oh no, the goo mine gives the jig away. Vlad will pick that one up, and now there's not much time at all. And Rams, they're rushing on in. They've already got 2 kills. One more is all that's needed, but Steffi is having none of that. PC419 moved to match point. Bance, victory falling away.
Yeah, Bance right now just getting so close to winning some of their offense, but just can't seem to be able to find any closure there for themselves. Unfortunately, the 3 points is the only thing that they're going to be sitting on here, and well, right now, between themselves and PC419, it seems that their victory is slowly slipping away, whereas PC419 feeling much more warmed up comparative to the beginning of the map, and certainly will be feeling much better about the current scoreline rather than what it was at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely warmed up, I think is the way to put it here for PC419. They're not letting any of these rounds just slip away. No one's letting a round that's almost certainly theirs just fall away like we've seen a few times. And the clash gets locked in on the match point by Steffi T. Oh boy, oh boy. So, good news for PC419. If it doesn't work out, who cares? You got a few more rounds under the belt. But for Bance, you know, they're going to walk into this match, see a clash, and know they can't lose it, Cthulhu. They got to deal with it, and they got to adapt.
You know, it's funny. the moment PC419 bring in Clash, Bands actually bring 3 operators that can directly counter the Clash play. So maybe the play of Steffi could be shut down pretty quickly, given that Mix's Nate and Hello could pretty easily get rid of, or at least force back the British operator.
I mean, Mixers can just kill him if he sees him.
That is true. That is true. Although you need some good precision and timing on those shots, because you pretty much need to pop off the second shot straight after the first one goes off. But look, right now, Bands, they're starting to slowly crack the code of how to push against PC419, but I feel like the damage has been already dealt and the issues are certainly there in place, and the Clash presence is certainly going to be made known very quickly. But I'm not too sure what will actually Bands do about that Clash.
Yeah, because now it makes the Pika's game just so much more dangerous, right? They can see you constantly. Every time you poke your head out, Steffi T's going to be able to walk right out here. But remember, there's so many operators that could be his death. One shot from Mixes will knock him back, will make him flail around and make him vulnerable. So, he has to be careful here. Can't get too cocky, but has to have an escape plan. It looks like he's going to fall back and has that plan now. But man, you got to watch out for Mixes. The moment he gets one shot, you could be just done. Capitao, if Hello gets the flames at his feet, that's also a massive problem, but he puts the crossbow away for now. Sees there's still a Clash there. But Vlad's found Nate. Vlad's found Nate. They might be stopping this one. This is Sophia down. The flames force the Clash back, but immediately Cthulhu, there is a smoke in response. So, it's a stalemate. They're just going to go right back there.
It is indeed a bit of a stalemate. Vlad does decide to go straight in for a peek right after that flame expires, and it seems that right now for Bands Gaming they need to go in just for a different push. The attempts at the pushing the bunker has been a little bit futile, so right now push onto the main stairs of the watchtower could have worked out, but Mixers did take quite some punishment for that peek. And right now proceeding to keep attempting to peek here, could potentially find him a fragment to Vlad, but right now it's certainly not looking very likely.
Yeah, they've given up on the bunker, and now Steffi can just walk upstairs. Oh, g'day, mate. There's a claymore right in front of him. A teammate can clear it, or he can just take it right to the face. He's got a big old shield, so he'll be okay. Only a little bit of damage, and just look at how far they can push the defense all the way back. So, Vance, feeling like they're just fumbling and not able to find their feet right now. They've got maybe one avenue to attack from, and I don't think it's going to be enough Cthulhu, because there's not a lot of time left.
Well, they have some presence in the laundry as well on the main stairs, so they should be able to maybe take control of the laundry and get rid of Shaq and play from there, but it's still quite a tall order. Already smoke grenades are starting to go down. There is a shutdown from Cordell, but that might not be enough. A C4 flies in to send Ash flying all down to Hello. He cannot find a single frag. It's a 1v4 situation, barely any health. And look, with 16 seconds remaining, I believe this is what we call a GG here, as right now, final few attempts at maybe getting a few more stat-padded kills is just about it, but Hello is just kind of rolling with it. It's like, oh yeah, it's whatever. And well, there we go. A 7-1 win, good half from both of the teams, as it was still a very valiant effort, gotta say, from Bands Gaming.
But one thing I think is clear that we can say is that PC419 went into their map pick with a plan. You know, they came in, well,
yes.
My man, they bring out the Ying all the time. They even have a, apparently, back pocket Clash. Now, don't know if that's a fully serious one, if they just wanted to see if they could get away with it, but hey, it worked out probably the best for their defenses. I think that was the one, the most successful defensive round with the Clash, so hey, maybe it is actually something they've always got in their back pocket. But look, that's one map win already for PC419, who are on fire. But Cthulhu, what's Cafe gonna look like?
Oh, I reckon Cafe could be quite a banger. If not, well, Band's still looking pretty prepared for at least a fair few rounds, so we still might see some really good siege from either one of the teams, but, well, that's all I believe will be coming out right after the break.
That's right, see you then. And get back in here. It's LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege, brought to you by WD Black. Now, Cthulhu, man, we've got a series here because PC419, they're back. They're warmed up, they're on fire as they take map number 1. And now they get to go to Cafe against Bance, and well, this is Bance's map pick. Is it going to be enough to swing the favor, though?
Yeah, look, for bans, they have shown us some pretty good defense. Offense was, unfortunately for them, a little bit sloppy there, so maybe we shall be seeing something different for map number 2 with their map pick kind of being in play. But really, it's difficult to say whether it's going to be their map or not. But look, Cafe is ready to roll. We're just about to jump straight into the ban phase. And, well, I'm assuming we are going to be seeing, well, another Thatcher ban, possibly another Womai ban, maybe? Because I'm assuming that for PC419, that Ying pick kind of worked out, or at least partially worked out in getting rid of as much of the utility disposal as possible. But, look, their first ban is, once again, is going to be a Jackal that they were pretty happy about during the first map again, so maybe we shall be seeing a repetition of the ban phase as well.
Yeah, I think it's fine by PC419, right? When they're on the defense, they can just send out a heavy roaming presence or none at all, you know, it's all up to them. But bans will continue the trend with the back to standard bans for the Thatcher.
Yeah, standard ban on the Thatcher was kind of more so expected here. The idea of him kind of still being present is more so now is feeling like an oddity whenever, say, Mira slides through the ban phase, who is, funnily enough, will also get bullied straight out of this matchup. So, look, the last remaining ban I feel might be going for Valk, maybe if Maestro, given how both of the teams are using pretty frequently on defense.
Yeah, I mean, Womai is also the other option, but Valk will be the one to go, so get that one out of there. Any naughty runouts that you learned on Reddit, well, you're gonna have to do it on someone else.
Namely, PC419 are just gonna be happy that there's gonna be not as many of the runouts as there were on Oregon, given just how many of them was Nath able to acquire.
Yeah, you got a fair few, actually. Not all of them on Valk either, so, you know, if they throw them back onto the Malusi, that's always going to be an option. You know, Malusi getting through the ban phase again, always picked up, but not this time on the defense, Cthulhu. You're going to have the double ADS setup with the Womai and the Jaeger, so projectiles be damned. You know, you've got a pretty solid, you know, time delay with the smoke, so, you know, we're coming in with all the tools here. For the first defense of the game.
All the right toolset is certainly there. I'm liking the idea of bringing in a Kaid and a Mozzie. As a matter of fact, we actually have seen quite a deficit in the Mozzie picks, so that said, with him making a return, I feel Mozzie just feels a little bit more versatile. I don't know why. He's still a 2-speed operator, just like Mew. He still just denies the drones. I feel it's more so just the fact that you may be able to hack the drone and be able to use it in a similar fashion like Valkyrie, so maybe there's the reasoning behind that. Plus the gun is actually feeling a little bit more consistent over the range, I feel, compared to the MP5K.
But he's got an Australian accent.
That is true.
Is that worth it? Like all those benefits?
Possibly.
I'm just kidding, Australian friends. I love your accent. It's almost as cool as the Kiwi one.
I mean, hey, I get to troll both of the accents.
Yeah, well, don't tell anyone, but I was born in Australia, so you know, I get to play both sides.
Either way, Vance having quite an interesting decision to try to actually pressure the Heaven window and see if maybe they could find a few frags here, expecting fully that this is going to be a defense up above, or rather some presence, but like on Oregon, will not be finding any, at least just yet.
Well, a very risky spot for Nath to make a step in, but of course has the drone to help him out. Should be all good and can get rid of all the default cams along the way. So this is a nice little aggressive path by Nath, but slow for live droning. You want to get as much time out of it as possible. And here we go. Shaq and Tesla actually moving along the stairs together, moving to find their next victim. Oh, through the wall. Someone's made a call out, but it doesn't claim the life of anyone for now. So now bands are worrying. All right, where are these guys? We can't just leave them alone.
liking the fact that Shaq was able to dodge all of those bullets and run away pretty much without taking any of the damage. So
Dodge.
Well, he did. As a matter of fact, well, Vlad meanwhile undodges, well, or rather makes Cordial undodge all of those bullets and eat up. And well, that's minus the Zoff. Still, Buck is present here, so at the very least, you still have some sort of redemption utility-wise. But it doesn't deny the fact that there is some presence on the white stairs, and Nath is completely oblivious to that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Vlad's just been hanging out there the whole time, and he's just waiting for his next victim, but he has the option to make an aggressive push up there as well, especially if the call-outs come that they're going to be on the other side of the site. But we're going to wait a little bit here because Vance needs to regroup. They need to all get on the same side, but they found Vlad, and that has evened things up. This has given them a window back in, but not a whole lot of time left to make that window happen. Has every defender made it back to site? We've got both Steffi and Pun, but are we going to be able to get everyone here? The smokes are coming out a little bit early. I say early, but there's actually only 30 seconds left, so a small window for Vance to run through, but they want to pop that next smoke whenever they can, for sure. But Nate, he has to find something from above. Someone from his team has to find something, and there it is. They found Shaq. Steffi has to be the next victim, but he's already claimed one of the attackers. Can he get another one? The shotgun comes out, but it's not enough. And just one more is all they need for PC419. Where is Tesla? Nobody can find him. So instead, they go for the plant.
Yeah, there we go. Actually, surprisingly, we're able to stick around and stay alive as the round almost looked like it was about to be lost out to PC419. Bats were able to make a really clean comeback. So finally, they do manage to make their attack work, and this is a much better prepared push from them comparative to what we saw in Oregon. So maybe a little bit more faith here in Bance making it further than the 3 points.
Yeah, the good thing for Bance is that they got to pick off single members of the defense like quite often because of all the spread out from the roams. Even Vlad, who was like very close to the site on the Mozzie, had actually pushed far away from the other operators, far away from his team up the stairs. So, you know, even then it was easy enough to pick him off one at a time. So Bance taking some smart fights, and even in the final seconds, still managing to pull out the victory too. So they grab round number 1. They're going to be feeling pretty stoked about that one, but it's only round 1, Cthulhu, and we know that they had a pretty good first half last time, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, well, the only redeeming value here comparative to Oregon is the fact that this time it's Bance kicking things off on attack rather than defense, so we should be seeing maybe a closer scoreline, well, theoretically speaking, but right now, like you said, it's quite early into the game, so maybe it's just PC419 again kind of sleeping in on a few more rounds before they get fully activated, and maybe once they go on attack they can just completely demolish their opposition. But that is yet to be seen. At the very least, thankfully, they don't try to ankle their own teammates. So
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse.
they're already going to be starting at a little bit of an advantage. Although I'm still harping on, or rather memeing about that single occasion. It's just for the sheer fact how funny it just looked to me for some reason.
I mean, the amount of times we've seen people just flat out team kill from that, you know, he's lucky to have kept his life in that, to be honest. Shaq pushed up right up against the windows. He's looking for a bit of an easy kill, an easy one. He's opened up the windows, the glass as well, so going to be able to hear the rappels. Should have no worries about that. Would have heard 2 people, now almost 3 people actually start to come up, but you know, if anyone wants to come through this window, they're going to have to go through Shaq, and Cordial might be the first one to find that out.
Seems that right now just Shaq is being pressured from few angles, or rather him questioning all of those angles, and he's not particularly too sure as to where to go in for a run out. He is prepping one of the windows to maybe just go in for a swing. There he goes, gets a frag, but gets pretty instantly refragged. So with Cordial out of the equation, at the very least, the bare minimum of Cordial's job has been done. So it's not all in vain, maybe just yet, but Tesla's position here could be absolutely huge, although he just got blinded, and that shield should be gotten rid of pretty quickly. There it is, there he goes.
Yeah, and he's feeling pretty trapped right now. Does have an escape hole if he can get to it for sure, but wants to fire back, and Vlad is also looking around for him as well, but half the round is gone, and we're making good time for Bance. to make some presence onto the site. Now they've got the time to drone out. No Shack to worry about backstabbing them either. So all the lines of sight are now sorted out, and even Vlad's position may have been at least
Attackers have located
suggested
a bomb.
towards Bance, but I think now they can just take their time and approach this for a good little final push. So they've only got 3 people.
Yeah, but they still have all the necessary utility per se, so it still should be workable. I'm not too sure if they're knowledgeable about the position of the Maestro. Vlad is able to punish Tracy quite substantially, and right now this is just about to maybe fall apart, because the moment the push and the swing goes in, this could be it. There we go. Staffy does go down. Pun as well does take quite some damage as well, but Hello is still not done here. He needs to get rid of Tesla's position in the bathroom, because otherwise the man can really shut things down here. Already Tesla making his position known, and Steffi does get finished off. So at the very least, it's still a workable situation. Hello, nice swing, but unfortunately for him, will be traded out. All down to Mixes. Has the ARX to go in, only 14 rounds remaining. And against 2 more players, things are certainly not looking too favorable. PC419 once again take out round number 2 in a very good fashion.
Yeah, and towards the end of that, PC419 played it really well, because they just always had someone ready to back up in case things go badly. You know, Tesla goes down, they've got someone right around the corner to at least get the revenge, get the trade. And that's so important when you're the team 1 man up. You can just hold it back, and you know, worst case, you go into the 2v1 at the end, and that's what we saw. It worked out perfectly fine. So they get another round under their belt, and now we've tied things up again, Cthulhu. So this is another one that feels like it could certainly be anyone's game, but PC419, remember, they got a bit of a ball rolling last map, so if they get one going again, it may be hard for bands to get back onto the tracks.
Yeah, possibly could be seeing a little bit of a turnaround here.
Attackers need to
Maybe
locate and defuse
PC419 will
many
just
bombs
continue
and
their
make
dominance. We've seen previously how quickly they can get warmed up and just start getting more and more rounds. So maybe this could be the case, or maybe Bounce would still be able to retaliate here. Still a little bit of an early question to ask here. But it seems right now that the Bats are kind of actually pretty keen on their current lineup. I personally don't have anything against it at all as well, so as long as things work out for them, it's all fine and dandy. PC419 looking pretty strong as well. Gotta say, their setups with the some of the castle barricades, some of the magnets and Banshee and Melusi devices certainly looking very powerful. So it's more so just about how they play around those utilities, and it seems so far that PC419 are quite able to play around them very, very quickly and very keen.
Yeah, and I actually brought this up to you in the break, Cthulhu, but, you know, PC419 just feel like a very prepared team. You could see it was like that, you know, even from their map pick on Oregon. They had bands in mind, specific comp in mind to bring, so, you know, same sort of deal it looks like here, and they're reading their opponent's Bance gaming pretty well. They almost always seem to know the approach, where someone's hiding, to catch someone on entry, you know, all of that good stuff that it's just so valuable to have in Siege.
Yeah, look, we'll have to see what further down the line we might discover here. Because there's a full-blown actually rush right onto side, onto reading. Nath already making an entry. Tracy trying to make a return here as well, but it seems that it's just about to be shut down pretty quickly. Pun does dish out some damage onto Cordial, but right now there's a C4 that can be heard, as well as that Vlad already finds a kill onto Hello as well. Pun about to maybe blow up the C4, but no, oh, so much damage being exchanged. The pistol is being whipped out, gets the headshot, but Cordial trades him out. 1v3 situation now. It's all down to Mixes once again to try to clutch it out, but does find the shot onto Shaq. Vlad and Tesla are the last men standing, and right now could really set up a really nice crossfire.
Oh, the sound of the C4 scares me, it terrifies me, but I don't think anyone's alive to blow it up just yet. But Mixes, he's got a bit of a repick situation on his hand if he wants to pull this one out. Lots of time to do it, and only 1.5 health bars to get through. But that crossfire is always going to be incredibly dangerous. But look at the position. He might actually be able to take 2 1v1s. Oh my god, they may even hear the steps.
Yeah,
as we inch
Vlad knows.
Forwards, and yep, Vlad knows. He pushes back and just lets Mixes walk into his sights.
And there we go. A very good decision to kind of bait in on some Mixes. into that push. Very nicely done. And on the last rounds as well, I gotta say, was able to score that final headshot. So, well done by PC419, well done by Vlad, and well, now they are the ones who are establishing the dominance in the rounds, already having a 1-round differential. Gonna go back to the kitchen service, which was won out by Bans. So maybe Bans would have a much more comfortable ground to really make a comeback here, but as it stands, PC419 are starting to ramp up their revs, I guess, their push.
Revving up those revs.
Revving up the revs. I don't know.
Yeah, let's go for it. You know, I mean, they are right. You just saw what happened in that round. They had a very unique kind of round faced up against them with the rush from the attack, so they had to adapt, and they managed to do it. So, you know, this is a pretty good sign. The PC419 are looking pretty solid, looking pretty hot today. You know, they've warmed up. There's no more excuses anymore, and I don't think they need them, right? I mean, that round was super solid, but I will give this to Bans, as that round was a little weird, so I'm not going to put too much into it. As long as they don't rush every single round, then I'm ready to throw that one in the bin and see if they can maybe fix up this round number 3, round number 4.
I think it's more so just the idea of Bans was that to just break the pace that was there. PC419 may have been expecting a much more kind of coordinated push. Instead, they got a handful of just aggression. Maybe that's what Bans were kind of playing up around, but unfortunately for them that didn't work, and PC419 were a little bit just more prepared, I suppose, for a rush.
Yeah, look, nothing against the idea. You know, I'm always up for a rush randomly here and there in the rounds, but you know, at some point, you know, you got to realize they're just quite different to other regular rounds, like this one, for instance, right? So you can't use last round too much to, you know, see how the next round's going to be going here in round 4. Tesla, he is definitely thinking about a run out, thinking about maybe catching someone on the rappel, but he may have given it up a little bit too much time, but, you know, he's still going to have that option if he really wants to go for it. Oh, Nate, under fire, but he's got his escape path nice and sorted. But he does stick around to see if he can catch anything else out. That was
so
touchy,
close.
touchy.
Yeah, Vlad is just toying with his fate here, really. Trying to just find a few peaks before maybe either going down or defaulting back to the site. As we've seen, hearing some bangers, absolutely, from Cafe, but really, just Vlad kind of on the lurk. He hasn't been drawn out, so that's one thing that is going for him. So he may have the element of surprise, as Nathan is completely clueless about the presence of the Australian operator.
Although they have found Shaq, and that's one little thorn out of their sides to now deal with. So now they just want to find Vlad on that Mozzie. You know, you don't want to leave that guy skittering around the place. For sure, but, you know, you can also just cut off his points of entry, like the stairs. Just leave a claymore there. No worries, come back to it a little bit later if it blows up, if you hear any noise. But the other great thing is, about the site, is that you can just stick a buck above it, open up the floors, and you've got a million more lines of sight. You can flush out certain commonly defended spots. Vlad,
Vlad.
he's playing this one tight, hide-and-seek champion.
Man definitely has mastered Metal Gear Solid on the hardest difficulty possible, because he is right now absolutely undetected, and he could really make the big difference here.
But they gotta know, they have to have some sort of idea. It looks like Nath, who goes for a pre-fire at Vlad's door, may have had some idea, but Vlad is still waiting for someone to just come around here. But Nath as well, you know, he's got to constantly watch his back. You know, if he wants to stick up there, using that vertical play. But here we go, the forced foray into the bakery, coming out by Mixes. He will have his option to move in first soon, but here we go, Vlad's patience has paid off, and now that buck no longer above the site, raining down death from above. In fact, now Bance's opportunity to worry about that Mozzie. Here we go though, those smokes coming out, but not a lot of time, Cthulhu. They've got to rush on in here. Smoke bolts are all over the place, but PC419 have even more kills than the bolts.
That was the most theatrical death by the Capitao as well, gotta say. Steffi should be able to get... he turned away though at that moment. But yeah, Capitao's body landed right onto the counter as well, just full on just lounging. You know what, I'm gonna take a chill.
Yeah, you know what, that round was pretty hard work. Gonna go have a bit of a relax. You know, maybe come back in a few rounds, because it doesn't feel like PC419 are gonna be able to be stopped for now. So 3 rounds in a row on Cafe. They're looking to make it 4. Vlad was such a pain in the last round, but he's on the Maestro, so you can imagine with that 3 armor, he's probably not going to be running all over the place, probably not going to be roaming and sneaking around, and instead making a whole lot of noise. The mute actually swaps over to the Goyo as well, so this is going to be just so much utility to run down Cthulhu. I mean, just look at that ADS, magnets. You know, you got to worry about the smoke at the end of the round. Then, of course, the Evil Eyes. Oh, God, it's just so much work to even thinking about it.
And it's quite a scary thing whenever you get to witness like full-blown utility meta, where you need to clear out so many things before even thinking of really just going for a play. So yeah, this is definitely a scary thought. But right now, I mean, bands do have pretty much all that they need to drain out as many of those utilities as possible. It's more so just how are they going to approach that very decision. Funnily enough as well, looking at the scoreline so far, for PC419, it's Vlad that is actually leading with the frags, whereas for bands, it is Hello, who's just sitting on 5 kills. So, I mean, look, between the two teams, unfortunately for bands, they weren't able to find anything after their first round, but they were making some valiant efforts here.
Yeah, I mean, Hello's managed to get some pretty sick values so far. You know, on the IQ, he's been playing it every round, so, you know, definitely could be a bit of a saving grace for sure, but it's all about this push here, and Shaq is very pushed up forward. They may be able to collapse on him. He doesn't have many places to go. He's got the line onto the window, but surely they're going to be able to call him out. Surely they're going to be able to find out where he is and just completely collapse. So they cannot spend too much time on it, Cthulhu, because that is exactly what Shaq wants.
Yeah, he's just there to just grind out the time and just enjoy the game. Already denies a fair few of the pushes and forces actually bands out of those windows. So now they're gonna be forced to attempt to push the red stairs, the hatch, the new hatch as well, and all that while still having Piano completely just untaken whatsoever. Portal is still kind of jiggling around in that kind of dance of death, but finally Shaq does go down to the hands of Nate. So at the very least there's that, but Tesla is still having quite some presence. Well, had some presence as he is going down. I believe he's actually going to go for maybe a run out onto a few of the people that are repelled to the side of the building.
Yeah, he's just run away out of there. So being able to overtake the bathroom is actually a good amount of time that Vance is able to save on that one, forcing him away from it so quickly. So they may be into this one with a lot of time. One member down on the defense as well, so they've set themselves up for a bit of victory here. Steffi is going to be definitely a bit of a barrier to get through, you know, the gas grenades. He's also got the barrier to look after himself, but if you can get Nate in a position like this to flush them out, anyone hanging out, camping behind a barrier, you can be able to flush them out for sure if it's on soft floor. But it looks like they're still not sure about the bathroom just yet, so maybe they didn't even know they could make it that far. But here is that run out we were waiting for, but it's from Hun to catch out Hello. Nate trades it back onto Vlad though. Only 40 seconds left in this round, but people are already dying, Cthulhu. I think the push is happening already. And we've lost all our defenders. Only Steffi T remains. He gets one, but he's got another 2 to find. Has 1 gas grenade to work with, but will instead just make the holes in the wall with that big old shotgun. The SMG-11 is going to have to be controlled masterfully here if he wants to use it to pull out the win. The red ping's actually now coming out to try and find him on the Evil Eyes. Plants attempted. He can cancel this. He's actually buying a lot of time here. Red pings constantly. They might actually be able to find him here. He sees him, cancels the plant, but just in time. Vance trade the kill back and still pick up a win.
There we go. Vance starting to bite back. They're only 1 round away from drawing out this first half. Could potentially do that because that was definitely a much better execution by them, although it was off the fact that PC419 pretty much threw away the lives of 2 of their players whilst trying to get a double run out. It was both the Goyo and the Womai that were doing a run out, so it definitely had me a little bit confused there and concerned, and well, rightfully so. PC419 did lose that round for being a little bit too cheeky on some of those plays.
So punished indeed, for sure, but almost pulling it back, I think, is the scary thing there, Cthulhu. You know, you had Steffi T in a very fun little situation where he could have pulled off the 1v2. Would have been a total tilter if they did manage it, but it just means when he gets down to those situations, you can't just call it for the defense, you can't just call it for the attack. Whoever's got the most people, you've got to pay attention to the end. But here we are. Vance, they swung one back Cthulhu. They stopped the streak for PC419. But they want to make this clean half for a finish, so they have to win this one here on attack. Operators are the same.
Yeah, the operator picks are just not really planning to really change a whole lot. Steffi, though, does swap over to a Pulse, which I believe was not present in the previous round. So, introduction of him for the second floor defense is a really good idea, given how much breachable floor there is, especially between Reading and the cocktail lounge. Shaq is just attempting to go for a few spawn picks. It does make his position somewhat known, but only just a single bullet just there to kind of maybe force him out of the position or rather get him spooked. But that, he has nerves of steel, so
yeah,
he'll just keep on peeking.
What a badass. He didn't even move away from that. Now he's running away though, wanting to just maybe reconvene on the other side of the map, making the call out that they are coming up. He was caught out in piano before, so doesn't really want to let that happen again. But here it is. It's another top-down clear coming out from Vance. They want to make this one a nice, smooth one. No shenanigans, nothing weird. Just a nice, by-the-books kind of push coming out here. And they'll be able to make it inside fairly easily without too much question. Breaching charges are coming along for the party, so not even that much utility is going to be wasted at the end of the day to even open up the door.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about certain tactical decisions, as this is quite a mass drop down that will be telling Steffi a fair few things, which I think he won't be able to just play off just yet, but at the very least that does put us in a interesting position where we might be seeing a play to come out. C4 coming through as right now. Oh, hello, does dodge that C4, and well, now we'll proceed to attempt to track that Pulse, but can't really find much.
Yeah, the good news is he knows Pulse is definitely behind, below him somewhere, so he can constantly go out and try and track him. That Claymore, I don't know if that's going to do the job, but that drone, bit of parkour, but still gets taken out at the end of the day. We've got to get Mixers back in here too. It looks like his team needs his help. As PC419 are taking them all out, Mixers has got his own line of sight done, but it's too late, maybe. A little bit too little. Hello comes in to save the day. We've also lost a player, so probably going to be a rehost after this round too, but yeah, only 2 people left for Vance.
Poor Cordial just can't seem to be able to catch a break at all. Second crash, unfortunately for the man. Will be pushing his team in not a very favorable situation, and with that said, it is still 2v4. Plenty of information being given around though to PC419 with all those banshee devices going off, and with that as well, there's a smoke grenade that makes Mixers sound like the gnome from the meme, but apart from that, it's just another peek from Vlad to find a shot on hello, all down to Mixers, and maybe he'll just kind of drain out time to allow maybe a tactical play.
Well, give us time for Cordial to join.
Yeah.
You know, come on, mate. But it looks like the rehost is going to be granted for sure, so just to fix up, bit of a disconnect and get him back into the game. We're praying that he's going to be able to rejoin beforehand, but who knows? Probably not going to get to that. But that, my friend, is another round for PC419. 4-2 for the half, and well, they are not that far away from that 2-0 they are really keen for.
Yeah. Well, I believe we are going to be seeing, a full-on exodus of
yep, they've all left.
Bands. Yeah, they're all left, so just like that, we are back to the cameras as well. Hello. Hey. Well, that does give us some time to really talk about kind of what's so far happening, because, well, PC419 sorted themselves out with a 4-2 scoreline at the end of the first half, which set themselves up pretty well for their attack. Although now Band's going to go to the defense, maybe this is where they should be able to maybe even out the scoreline, maybe push it to a little bit more competitive side. It's still quite a rough run here for Bands, all things considered. The very least that they might be expecting here is a round differential against Elemental. Yep. But even then, it's quite a tall order, given that first map did go 7-3 scoreline. This map, so far, they only managed to kind of run away with only 2 points, but it was on their attack, so defense may get them, say, another 2-3 maybe. It's still quite hard to predict whether it is going to be an overtime, because we've seen a whole lot of rounds where bands were doing some good performance overall, but they weren't able to keep a hold of that kind of advantage till the end of the round.
Yeah. So for Bants, right, like they're, again, just looking for kind of one map, but then you bring up a pretty good point about the differential, because if you can't pick up a map, then each individual round is going to be extra valuable because, if you haven't seen the leaderboard lately, ShadowNet right down at the bottom, definitely in relegations, but above them at 4 points each are both Bants and Elemental. So this one, Elemental haven't picked up their wins, so, Bants, if they don't pick up their wins either, could be in a very tied situation next week, and then it could all come down to just round difference, whether or not you've got to play relegations and potentially be eliminated.
Yeah, look, right now for Bants, their main objective is just to stay as far away as possible from the relegations and see kind of what can they do, really, because if not the PC419 matchup, it's the next week's match that is going to be their last kind of resort to try to stay as far away as possible from the relegations, which, look, I still believe that Bants can make it back and play out relegations into their favor, but it's unnecessary trouble, unnecessary just time to prepare for some other teams that they could have been utilizing to study their higher end teams right now on the leaderboard. So for them right now, they just need to even play for an upside. Just play, win out one map. After that, you pretty much solidify kind of yourself in at least a little bit more of a favorable for yourself situation, as I believe we just got another technical difficulty there.
One of these rehosting the rehost again.
It seems that it's plaguing us quite frequently, which is yeah.
Now, see, the problem, ladies and gentlemen, with this is that means we get locked out of creating a lobby for about 5 minutes. So it does mean we're probably just gonna have to send you guys to a break. But when we return, we're going to come back with the game to conclude the series, so go grab a drink, cool off for a bit, because we've got the action all when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Apologies for all of the technical delays, but all things going well. We'll have the lobby back up and ready to go in just a moment, so we can get right back into this cafe match. Right now, we've got PC419 currently in the lead, and, they're hoping to close it out, get the 2-0. For Bants, we were saying it before the break, it's all about just trying to get that upset and then maybe a few rounds for round differential.
Yeah, they currently going to have to play for a bit of an upset, unfortunately, for Bants. This idea of the 2-0 is no longer on the board, but they can still run away with a single point, mess up the run for PC419 as well, which could definitely hurt them in the long run, but apart from that, really, we have kind of left both of those teams on the 4-2 scoreline after the conclusion of the first half of Cafe. And with that said, the Bants are going to be going on the defense next. And from there on, they might just be able to set themselves up for a nice kind of maybe draw after 2 rounds. Or maybe we shall be seeing just PC419 to just run away with all of the dubs and just kind of call it an early day.
Yeah, now I think for Bants, as we're just tidying up the last bits of the lobby, for Bants, I think the most important thing for them, obviously, is going to be whether or not they can get it going in the next round or two, right? Because now that they've swapped sides, there's not really any more excuses of, we'll get going once we get back onto defense or whatever. It's got to happen now. It's got to happen very soon, because otherwise, obviously, we're going to get PC419 onto match point. Once that happens, it's a bit of a disaster because you've got the pressure on you. So Cthulu, yeah, we've got to see something work in this first round on defense, maybe the second. But I mean, look, if those ones fall away and we get to match point just immediately for PC419, I think it could be a quick one.
Yeah, this could potentially be a quick one. Only 3 rounds needed really for PC419 to win it out. Whereas for Bants, well, they still got quite a long run ahead for them if they do want to push it even remotely close to just even a competitive scoreline. So, look, here overall, I have faith in Bants getting a few rounds. I am not yet fully convinced that they might be able to run away with a full map, especially against a team like PC419.
Yeah. Of course, on the note of them having to get things rolling now is that it is their map pick. And it is presumably their preferred side as well. Now that they're getting to it, at least their opponent's PC419 got their pick of side first. So you'd presume maybe that defense is going to be the preferred side now for Bants, but I guess there's only one way to find out, Cthulhu.
Exactly. Continuation of map number 2, but this time it's the second half that we are going to be seeing to be kicked off. And look, it seems that we are going to be going straight to Reading Room, a site that is kind of treated as a tertiary side, but it's just about as good as defending even Bar and Cocktail, in my opinion. You could go for a fair few setups, and Bant's already teasing a clash, which is certainly an interesting decision, although quickly swapped over to the Melusi. That is definitely going to be up Mix's alley a little bit more than a clash, so can't blame the man. But it would have been probably quite exciting to see whether clash pick would have worked out there previously.
Yeah, I mean, remember that this is their map pick. They're now getting to be on defense, so maybe they've got something in their back pocket now that we're here. But it looks like it's not going to be the clash, as much as they might want to try and make PC419 think that. Instead, yeah, like you said, Melusi, so it's not like the operators are changing. We're not getting anyone onto like a new play style or anything. Everyone's still going to be doing the same thing. So for Bants, it's just got to be tidying everything up, winning those gunfights, making sure you don't get flanked from anywhere. But I'd say it's going to be about keeping their roam alive. On a map like Cathay, you want those questions about, is someone 2 floors down? Are they going to be hunting me in about 20 seconds? And so PC419 pulled that off really well. The question is, can Bants? Wait a minute. Did you just chuck a magnet outside?
Possibly.
I think he must have missed the window or something, because
well, that was
I just
either way.
I just blanked out and thought it was like a Valk cam or something.
Maybe there's a grand idea behind it. We'll see.
Someone throws a flashbang into the window, but it gets pulled back and blinds their teammate.
I mean, that I saw a few people try to do that, so it's not in the realm of something impossible. What is though? Or rather, what is going to be in the realm of possibilities, Steffi going in and getting some early frags. As the man goes in for the push, you won't be able to find any frags just yet, as there's just nobody around that left side of Cocktail. But there is a 2-man hold up on the construction and the further side of the Cocktail lounge.
Yeah, so they get a quick entry into the building onto the site, onto the same floor that everyone's hanging out on, so that's going to be a nice little bit of value. Steffi's able to push up a little bit further, but now that he sees the shots coming on out, he can make his swing. Doesn't get the first one, but they know he's there now. Can throw out his utility and try and burn them all away. But Vlad, instead, is going to be the one to pick that one up on the Nomad, and now Nath gone. Can they get anything else out of this one? Because Cordial, he's still upstairs, and he can still get some kills too, but can he make it back to the stairs nice and safely, and can he do it with a kill? It looks like the answer's going to be yes.
Being able to shut down Steffi, that is a huge thing. Does need to get rid of Vlad, as so far the man has been an absolute nuisance to really deal with. And well, there we go, finally. It was a little bit of a odd decision to try to just use the breaching charge to get rid of some of the utility. But instead, nonetheless, Mixes will be forced out of his position on the white stairs, and frag grenades maybe just add things up to the list as well, maybe. For now, though, the vertical game is being established here against the defending team of Bants, and so far only one operator per team has been traded out.
Yeah, and now that they've got this hatch in the hallway, they can make huge amounts of vertical play, just leaving Tesla up there to constantly force them. If they rotate, they're dead. He can catch them out. We'll have to watch his toes, but has the rest of his team to make the push. However, Cthulhu, it's got to happen now, because there is only 20 seconds left, and so here we go. This is where everything is on Bants to just nail their shots. There's a few to go well for now. Cordial, he waited for his ones, but it doesn't go his way. Pun, oh my god, he's not taking very much damage from the gas at all, but makes it through. His team getting a double kill in the background. There's just Tracy left, and now he's got to stop the plant. He finds one attacker, but it's Tesla.
Tracy missed out completely on Ace's position. Could have actually denied it very quickly as well. But no. Ace's planting right to the right side of Tracy there in reading.
You're right.
That is
Oh,
a very
no.
unfortunate turnout there.
No one tell him.
No one tell him, yeah. Look, things certainly didn't really work out there for Bans, so they will be retrying this one more time, but 3 rounds in a row is, well, sorry, 3 rounds differential is a huge thing. Hello, certainly that is a bait. I very much do not believe that they will be memeing it out with a chunker. There we go. There's a pick onto Maestro. So from one LMG to another, from a stationary to a handheld for now. Not a bad decision, though, by Bans, given that it is going to be kitchen service and cooking, so the Maestro bulletproof cameras are certainly going to be well worth the effort.
I wonder if it's going to catch PC419 out at all, though. Because if you've been watching the last few games, the chunk has been popping out. Especially in teams, in situations where a team's like massively behind like this one. But they don't pick it out in the end. They'll take this one very seriously, and well, maybe there's a little bit of time they can buy off that. PC419 kind of checking for the LMG, but other than that, it's just going to be normal. In fact, I believe this is the exact comp that they brought.
10 seconds left.
Well, when they were here last time, so maybe they'll be able to make it work here. But you look over at what PC419 are bringing. That's still all the same tools. Everything's still the same. You've got just one hard breaches, so if you lose that, it could be a pain, but other than that, pretty much anyone, I feel, can go down on PC419, and someone's going to be there to cover them.
A few things can really happen here. Curious how much roam, though, is going to be brought on board by Bans Gaming, given how it can be very potent here, and theoretically could shut down pushes by Steffi T or maybe even Vlad or Shaq for that matter. It seems for now it's just a calm before the storm. No presence up on the 2nd floor, no presence up on the 3rd floor as well. So the only, actually pardon me, the only presence will be is on the white stairs. So should be an easy avenue to really take. There we go. Finally, we see that best out of the equation. So yeah, so far it's just going to be clearing out all the utility and just trying to waste as little of your own utility there.
It's the little things that add up as well. The fact that you can just keep an extra drone going into the final stages of the round is going to be so valuable, but what is also very valuable is finding the Mozzie himself. Take the Nate out and setting your team up for a nice little push at the end. So much nicer without that pesky little Nate player in the background, but here we go. It's the same sort of deal. Tesla's going to be opening up the floor, seeing if there's going to be anyone hanging out below him. But they've got to be careful on these stairs. Of course, a good point of contention, but look at all this juicy, soft floor that Tesla is going to be able to rip up, and he's going to be able to rain the grenades. He's going to be able to bring death from above, and look at this one spot. He's going to be able to flush someone out at the very best. Hello may be able to just sneak out of there, but he won't be able to sit around AFK in the same spot.
Not at all. Breach is starting to go down, and right now Bans are going to be looking a mighty scared more so about so many angles being opened right above them. Tesla is just having a field day with that sledgehammer, just being able to swing it everywhere and anywhere. And for fun, just that's enough distraction to really just go and make an opening, and that is going to be an easy reach straight into the freezer, which is going to be pretty much borderline right next to the site.
Well, but of course, right next to the site means there are enemies abound, and well, Vlad, can he hunt down and avenge his teammate? Because he's losing teammates in the background too. He does get the vengeance, and now this is a big, big lead for PC419. Again, it's just the anchors left. Hello and Tracy. Hello gets that first one, so that's a great start. Only one gas grenade left, but he won't get to use it. And now, again, it's just Hello, and he's got no health. That armor's not going to help him now. The plant going down, he can't cancel it, and PC419. Oh my word, they move on to match point.
There we go. PC certainly making just the right moves for themselves just to keep the scoreline in their favor all the time. And, well, look, only one round remained before the whole odyssey, I suppose, of Bans versus PC419 will be closed out here. Seems that there is just mainly just the friendly kind of banter between, or rather just friendly talks between the two teams. No trash talk at all, just all the good vibes. But it's still the game for PC419 to take, so they're taking it as seriously as they can in their plays rather than in the chat.
Yeah, no, it's good to see that PC419, they just want to get in, get out, get this 2-0, and then clean up, ready for the final week of the round robin. So it's refreshing to see them come in with such a strong attitude. For Bance, of course, their attitude has been fantastic as well, bringing their all to all of these rounds, bringing in creativity as well, but just falling short on some of them. And when PC419's on fire, it feels like, in fact, when any of the top 5 teams are showing up to play, it's very hard for the bottom 3 to do anything about it, right? Advance, Elemental, ShadowNet. Sometimes they just can't take games no matter how well they play when something like PC419 playing like this shows up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is extremely hard to really bounce back from, especially when you are kind of on the back foot. And given how coordinated it's seeming to be going for PC419, I certainly think that they might just be able to just close it out in this round and just call it a day. Which is going to be very unfortunate for Bance, because like we talked before, they would really want to have at least some more rounds just to kind of win out in the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so there is actually value for Bance here in every round, so just because they're facing down 4 rounds in a row where they can't lose, does not mean that they shouldn't be looking to smash out each and every one of these. So hold tight, and maybe you'll even get an overtime if you're lucky. So Bance still want to come in here and get the value. That first bit of value, though, is denied by anyone, so no one will go down here. And PC419, I mean, there shouldn't be too much contest to get inside, and well, Nath is certainly not going to be stopping anyone, at least anytime soon for now either.
Unfortunately for Nath, he got a little bit too keen for some of those peek outs, and well, paid with his life very swiftly. Steffi going in for just trying to just get rid of that ballistic shield as much as possible. So that shield is about to go down. Mix is forced out of his position now. And, well, it's actually a gunfight between Steffi and Cordial now that is in full-blown effect as Hello takes even more damage. So right now this is all just slowly starting to fall apart for Bance, but PC419 are still kind of waiting for the push, for the real push to happen.
Oh, but it needed to happen there. Hello going down might be the beginning of the end for Bance here on Cafe. Mixes, he's getting utilitied out, he's getting drowned in it all. He'll be able to get away, but he's got Tracy to lock down his escape, and there it is. Vlad gets cut down, trying to cut him off, and so maybe Bance can swing this one back, but they're going to have to continue to be on point. Remember, still a man down.
Indeed. Cordial needs to keep his game in play here, because otherwise could be shut down very quickly. Nexus holding his position very carefully. He has the Womai charge here as well to ensure that if there's going to be some frag grenades flying in, he will be protected. But a nice pre-fire. Tesla does go down. Smoke grenade will be dealing some damage to Punisher, but he is down and out. There, that smoke grenade is there. Tracy is able to get some frag, but not out of the equation just yet. 2 players remaining between Shaq and Steffi to try to stay alive, but the call out has been already coming out. Shaq might need to start hurrying up because the diffuser might be touched very quickly soon.
And Tracy is close to an ace. It's Mixers going for the disable, but they get Tracy, and just Mixers is left, so Steffi can clean it up, no worries. And PC419 can clean up the series, no worries.
There we go. 2-0 scoreline, the end score that we kind of mostly expected, but still we saw some pretty good rounds from Bance, but unfortunately could not muster up any more here.
Yeah, so all in all, it's been like quite a lot of the weeks, right, where we get the expected result, but this time the expected path, right? You know, we didn't expect to see too many rounds dropped by PC419, right? They're clearly the favorites coming into it. And, you know, like I was saying, it's just hard to take rounds off these guys when you're not in that top 5, right? It seems like they are just kind of making their own club where it's like, you know, if you're not in the top 5, well, if we show up to play, then too bad, unfortunately. But for PC419, that's excellent. It's now locked them up in the top 4. They are confirmed some prize money, and they confirmed a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, just like that. And now the only thing that they will really need to care about is the seedings within that playoffs to maybe set themselves up for maybe a slightly easier matchup. Maybe they will be able to push out some of their opponents out of some of the higher places. So it's all kind of more so a question of the seedings for them here. For Bants, though, they now need to start preparing for their final matchup during the next week, because this is what will decide whether they will stay in their relegation position or whether they will be able to get out of it.
Yeah, but one thing that could change maybe a little bit of the bottom of the leaderboard is going to be the next match. This is Skyfire versus ShadowNet. It's going to be another one where Skyfire, they kind of need that 2-0 to lock in that top 4, but ShadowNet are ready to play spoiler. But that match, ladies and gentlemen, is coming up after the break. Welcome back, everybody. We've got one more game for you all as a treat. It's LPL Pro, it's Rainbow Six Siege, Mr. Smite, Mr. Cthulu. And oh boy, it's Skyfire versus ShadowNet coming up next. And this one, it's a lot like this last series, Cthulhu. PC419 needed their 2-0 against Bants. Well, Skyfire are going to need their 2-0 against ShadowNet.
Yeah, for ShadowNet, though, they just need to essentially play for maybe a little bit of glory, maybe some upsets, maybe just to shake down some of the leaderboard positions.
Yeah, I mean, now, technically there is a window for ShadowNet, although it's going to involve a few 2-0s.
Few caveats.
So the window's there, but it is about 4 stories high, and you've got no rappel, and you are not ammo. So it's going to be pretty hard to get into for ShadowNet. But look, I think there's only one way to find out, Cthulhu. Let's dive into this one. Let's find out about the teams and see how they're going to be stacking up, because Skyfire, the favorites here in this match, they're looking for that 2-0. And unlike a few of the other teams, you know, they're not bringing any subs who turn into core, sticking with the lineup.
Yeah, sticking with the lineup, players Smaka, Mateus, Archie, and Jigsaw. Funnily enough, Archie has a birthday today as well, so
Happy birthday!
Jam it out. Happy birthday, Archie. And yeah, look, all these players are very able to perform. They're all fantastic solo players as well, and in a matter of few rounds could really swing the favor into their side. And for a reason, they are currently sitting in the top 4 position. Rightfully so, they were able to get themselves to those positions. But ShadowNet.
Yeah, ShadowNet. Now, every week we say, look, it's not too likely that they're going to be able to pick up a win against their opponents, but they surprise us very often. And they've brought in one more photo, actually. I don't think Levi had a photo last time.
That's
so
correct.
I love it. I love how it's nice and zoomed in so we can get all the details. We don't know what his left eye looks like, though. That's always going to be a mystery. But ShadowNet, I mean, how is this roster going to pull off a win against Skyfire?
Look, I think partially it could be off the back of Levi. That man can
Just
be a machine.
Stare them.
Just stare them down at this point with the death stare. But memes aside, the whole roster, if they do get kind of into the right mentality, they can pop off really well. User has been doing some phenomenal job for a fair few games. Lags as well has been a pretty solid addition to the roster. Nova and Space as well are able to occasionally pitch in to the whole dilemma. So look, all of these players can very much perform, but they need to work as a single unit if they do want to come out with a victory, at least even win a 1 map.
Yeah, it needs to be more than just one player popping off. It's got to be the whole squad, especially if Skyfire are showing up today to play. And you know what? We say it's got to happen as a team, but sometimes you do just have to win those 1v1s, Cthulhu. So in this sense here, for our key player matchup, you've got Jigsaw and you've got Levi. 2 players that do pop off fairly often, but is Jigsaw the only member of his team that does so?
Yeah, Jigsaw is kind of just one of those more so players that gets the flashier plays, or the ones that our wonderful observers get to actually catch as well.
They like watching him.
They like watching him. He's a phenomenal unit for his team and able to really frag out. On the side of ShadowNet Levi, I mean, probably the biggest performance that he's seen was when he played and the team played actually against ShadowNet, or ShadowNet against ShadowNet. Hold my thought there. Against Ferox on Villa. They pushed it to full 15 rounds. Nearly got it, but unfortunately couldn't really win it out. So Levi can really go in for a few swings. So I'm curious though about some of the maps that we shall be seeing, which I'm actually quite certain you will be quite keen to see.
Oh, really? You got a little surprise for me?
I got a little bit of a surprise there for you, Smite.
All right, well, what maps have we got? Let's bring them on up right now, because first up is Clubhouse. Like, you know me so well. I love the Clubhouse. But then we got a Villa, and I know you love that one too. So first up, going to be Skyfire's map. Now, I'm happy to see them pick this one up because, you know, look, a lot of teams play Clubhouse, a lot of teams feel comfortable on it, so why give anything away?
Yeah, plus this is one of the maps that theoretically kind of ShadowNet were having a few fumblings and a few times when they couldn't really close out a fair few rounds.
Yep.
So this is a good opportunity for Skyfire to ramp up their numbers, whereas on Villa, well, we saw Skyfire pick a few times on Villa, and they did perform quite well. But Villa is also nowadays very well known for the fact how powerful our just previously mentioned Levi can be. With the vertical play, with the Mozzie, with the C4, things could really get heated for the man. But as well as that, well, ShadowNet just did overall a pretty good job at holding the defense there. So if they are able to kick themselves off with some good defense and some good competitive scoreline, they just might be in for a chance to win out the Villa map and maybe put themselves, well, at least up on the point, up on the board with the points. Because, yeah, they're currently on quite an unfortunate loss streak.
Yeah, the good news for ShadowNet, for me at least, is that whenever they do pop off, it's not like they need a few rounds to get rolling right. Like, it can just come right out of the gate, out of nowhere. It can happen randomly after the other team has gotten a huge streak. Like, ShadowNet can just suddenly appear and start doing really well. So if we see them just get out of the gate rolling and maybe make sure that Skyfire don't have an opportunity to warm up, as they sometimes do need, then maybe that's ShadowNet's window back. And remember, their window is like hugely difficult to get in. It's a very tiny window, very high up. So, you know, they got to get a 2-0 tonight, and then they got to get a probably 2-0 next week if they want to avoid relegations. And that's the only difference that can be possible to make. And
even then, they do get into the whole tiebreaker situation against Band's Elemental. And in a three-way tiebreaker for the relegation, that is a rough patch.
And that presumes neither of those teams pick up any wins either.
That's another thing.
ShadowNet are in such an awkward position in terms of like where they want to go on the leaderboard. They're obviously not making playoffs. They're just trying to avoid the relegations. But, you know, on the flip side for Skyfire, it's basically just the opposite story. They very similar to PC419. If they get a 2-0, they'll lock themselves into playoffs. They'll get themselves out of reach from Exto Gaming, who are on 8 points currently. So, you know, all they got to do is get that 2-0. Dropping a map and only getting one map in the series would mean that they're still in reach, but it's still going to require a 2-0 from Exto to overtake them. So, you know, it's not out of the ordinary, out of the possibilities.
I'm curious actually who are Exto playing next week, because I actually, oddly enough, forgot they're playing for the final week. But yeah, pushing yourself onto the possibility of Exto 2-0ing their opponents is certainly quite a bad thing. But look, all bad things aside, it's the Clubhouse time, really.
I almost timed that really well.
It was pretty well timed, gotta say, yeah.
The sound was good, but the visuals came up you know, a little bit too late. But bands.
Well, bam. Yeah.
Well, bands, not bands.
Yeah. Either way, bans-wise, we do see a Thatcher ban straight off the bat. The poor SAS operator just getting bullied just about the same amount of time now, just as Mirror. And, well, just...
Remember when he got nerfed and everyone was like, oh, we'll get to see Thatcher all the time.
It's like... For that matter, actually, it may have made Thatcher even more so powerful, at least against the bandit tricking, just because now you need to go through all the hoops of taking off the bandit battery, putting another one, and kind of just going with it.
Just be a madman and shoot it.
That's actually what a fair few teams did.
That's what people do, yeah, so it's not actually that weird. Although it is weird when you step back and think about it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the final ban is about to conclude, and that is going to be the Mirror ban. Nothing too overly exciting. They're in the camp of the bans. But look, ShadowNet are beginning on a defense, which is a solid idea here for them to kick things off. But we've seen a few good setups for, say, sites like CCTV, like CCTV, like Church, And 50 times, unfortunately, for ShadowNet, they did fall through. So maybe here we might just see something different, given that they were improving slowly but surely.
And that is a very solid defensive lineup. If you look over at ShadowNet, right, like you just leave all the traps down, ADS, the doubling up with the Jaeger and the Wamai, you can burn a whole lot of time with Malusi and Smoke, and then the Mute, the sprinkling on top to deny any intel as well. But looks like Archie is going
Archie's
on
on
to Ash.
Ash.
Happy birthday, Archie. Let's see what you got. Forget everything I said about the defense. Keep your eyes on the Ash.
Oh, curious what will Archie on Ash do, as it seems that within Skyfire that is a little bit of a meme. Maybe not. I'm curious though about how will really ShadowNet play out. Also, another thing to mention, user is not present actually. It's Oi Boy that is coming in as a sub, as I believe that is their sub, and it's not just users.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Smurf or anything. I hope not. Either way, Oi Boy is going to be standing in here instead of Mr. User, and this might put a little bit of a dent into the performance of ShadowNet, but most definitely too early to call it, as the man will be attempting to hold the rafters here in the garage.
Yeah, so he's already got a little bit of an important job to show off here in his debut this season. Oh boy, definitely wants to hold down this rafter section for as long as possible. Because of course, once this main door opens, which should be pretty soon with the ace, they're going to have some extra little liners of sight over onto him, but it does go both ways, so you're always going to be able to fire it back, and you can see players actually lining it up so that he cannot be taken out by that shot, cannot be surprised at least, and can importantly return the fire too.
Archie, meanwhile, is also playing from down below in the supply room, which should allow him to get some vertical plays. Space is actually playing the downstairs room, which I think Archie read into at least partially. And with player spotting up Oi Boy, this could be a bit of an issue the moment the pre-fire is starting to come around, because that wall is completely not reinforced, so even just a well-placed pre-fire will be pretty much just the end of the Wamai.
Yeah, and they've got a drone that he almost can't really deal with as well, that can constantly go out, spot him out. They're still doing it just from the outside too, so at this point they know exactly where he is. It's just that he's put his head in a spot that is just not shootable at this point, so they're gonna have to eventually maybe go for a bit of a swing to try and take him out, because this is why this spot and this strat is so powerful. It's so hard to flush someone out of the rafters with all the magnets around. Like, how are you gonna deal with all of those? Eventually I think they just shot one out of the pipes, but he's still got more in the pocket, so it's still going to be hard. Now you've got Smacker from below as well. Archie's coming to the party too. Oh boy, he's not there for much longer. Oi Boy finally goes down. But only a minute left, Cthulhu.
Indeed, only a minute left, and not really a lot of things can be done. Archie does go down to the whole gunfight between himself and Space, but unfortunately for Space, he goes down completely. The plant is starting to go down, as player will be just sticking it, and the C4 will be coming around. Actually, Legs does manage to shut down player, so the diffuser will still yet to be planted. We're back to a 2 versus 2 as Archie is still down, so Jig's attempt at reviving the teammate should be able to put them back into the favorable position here.
Oh, there's not going to be a lot of time left though, so Nova and Levi can make this one work. Nova on the stairs, Levi over in cash. They're covering all the important angles, but one of them goes down. That could be the entry into the site. Just gained Skyfire, so they're going to be on point. No one can lose their fight here. Last gas grenade coming on out, but the plant, it's going back. Skyfire managed to get the diffuser. One defender falls, only Nova left. He's inside his own gas. The plant completes. He is going to be in a lot of danger here to try and go for this retake. Already Skyfire in position to deny it entirely.
Archie's just so good, just swinging just like that, not even carrying a single thing in the world. And well, Skyfire, after a little bit of a sloppy push, do manage to finally bring it back. Well, I say sloppy push, it was a 3v1 at the end, but the execution right onto the site was could be better. I
see what they were going for. They had just taken out, I think it was whoever was playing Jaeger, so it must have been Lags. They would have taken him out. Yeah, Space, sorry. They took him out on the stairs, and managed to just basically cut off all lines of sight for them to go for the plant. Problem is, you don't need line of sight to just chuck a C4 over the bomb, right? So, you know, they had that and the smoke gas, so
Attackers need to locate
still
and defuse
so
bombs.
many ways to deny the plant that I think they just got cocky and got caught out doing it.
Could be,
But
yeah.
they still won the round, so still definitely made it work.
Yeah, they still managed to get the dubs. That's pretty much all that matters there. So with that said, we are going to be going down back to the church and Arsenal, which is a little bit more of a turtle-heavy map to really play around, or rather site. And for Shadownet, looking at the lineup of the operators, just looking just about the same, bringing in the Maestro this time for Oiboy though, swapping him out from the Wamai is not a bad idea. 2 sets of impact grenades should ensure that all the breaching charges of Smacker or player will be extinguished pretty quickly. And from there on, it's just more so a question of how long can Shadownet hold out the push of Skyfire.
Yeah, it's going to be... We want to see where Skyfire are trying to approach first. Usually that comes out to be the kitchen hatch. That's where a lot of action goes down. Seeing if they can, you know, A, complete the hatch, and B, get any frags from below. They're actually there really quickly on the hatch, so this impact's going to come out. Going to deny the first one, but he's got a few more X-Kairos to go through. 2 more times you want to try and deny this one, but he's going to try and bait it out, try and find a kill. The flash to try and stop anyone thinking about it, but Levi, A, managed to dodge it, and B, managed to stop the next one going through again. Goes for one last one, should be able to get this one through with the help of that flashbang, and the hatch now open.
Yeah, with hatch now being open right now, the push by Skyfire should be made a whole lot easier, at least to go in for the peaks. Archie's getting a little bit aggressive there on some of the peaks as he is trying to get a few things going for himself, as Levi is also trying to just keep his position just alive more so than just even finding frags. So he does get spotted out by the Smacker's drone. And
They got the drone.
yeah, he got the drone, so at the very least, there's not going to be any live time information flow, but Levi is still cornered, and that is the main issue here for him.
Yeah, but he is draining time, so if he can survive, then it's all going to be worth it in the end. Nova's found Archie too, so that Ashman not going to be coming around the corner anytime soon, but it's all coming up Skyfire now, as they've got 2 down now, and Levi will be the next one to follow. Only Nova in space left again. This is going to be a bit of a rough one. Maybe some low health bars for Skyfire might be their only ticket back in.
Well, just maybe. Space Prison is still battling it out in the dirt tunnel, although his position is about to get extinguished really quickly. There we go. Player finds one, and then Jigsaw as well to switch things around. And Skyfire are much cleaner around here for the take, as it seems that they are very well prepared here for the play against Shadownet.
Yeah, just ended up with a lot of control over kitchen is what it ended up being at the end of the day, and downstairs in the hallway too, getting that 90 nice and in control. So 2 rounds now in the pocket for Skyfire. Their attacks looking pretty swift, pretty strong. Shadownet, I mean, look, it's there. The ideas are certainly there for sure, but they're just getting caught out fairly early, fairly easily. And the numbers are certainly not working out. The trades are just so good for Skyfire. You know, they can get 2 or 3 kills and only maybe give 1 back.
Yeah. It's slowly, but surely, it's just Skyfire roster just kind of running away with some of those
Defenders,
engagements.
protect your bombs from being defused by
Shadownet
attackers.
just will be attempting to retry the site, as it seems that maybe they are quite certain that they might just be able to do a little bit better on a few of these engagements. But the main issue is the fact that they weren't really able to keep a hold of the kitchen site in any shape or form, and that is exactly what kind of partially shot them in the foot whenever they tried to get the defense running. Maybe this time they might just be able to maybe turn things around, maybe set up a little bit of a wider defense, but apart from that, really, not a whole lot of things can be
10 seconds
done.
to go.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, Levi had a bit of a heroic hold down in the kitchen, but eventually went down off camera, so yeah, a little bit of a rough one. Should be Oiboy in his
To locate a bomb and
position.
defuse it.
But maybe, yeah, maybe the Malusi and the Maestro swap places, so Levi's going to be over closer to the blue tunnel instead. They've both got the impact, so they can both rotate in and out if they need to deny the breach. So very quickly again, Smacker wants to go make his presence known in the kitchen. And making sure that no one's around. And I think it's almost like he knows we're watching him, Cthulhu. Bouncing up and down. So, here we go. Ready for the breaching dance again. He got it started nice and early last time. So he's trying to bait it out. And, oh boy, looks like it's free real estate for that hatch now.
Yeah, well, there's still Oi Boy in hopes of trying to do anything, but just bad timing there. Still a C4 and a kill by Space Prism does do the kick, but already there's a push by Archie. He's just ready to dominate the side. Already picks up another one, goes in for the swing, cannot shut down Lags, and well, Lags might just be able to get Oi Boy back into the play, although it's still a very dangerous situation here for the man. Can't really cross over to the Maestro, and well, right now in a 1v2 situation, things are certainly looking quite rough here.
Oh, they're getting the red pings though, thanks to the Maestro cams, so a lot of info on where they are. So maybe Lags can find this one, but he's got to find it because that plant is going down. And even if it did go down, it wouldn't matter because they get the kills anyway. Round 3. 3 rounds in a row for Skyfire.
Well, Skyfire just looking absolutely unrelenting, not even letting ShadowNet to take any kind of defensive positions. That play by Archie pretty much sums it up, how Skyfire really approaching this whole thing. Just kick the aggression into the next gear and just keep on rolling with it until the motor kind of stops working.
Also, how on earth did Smacker find that kill onto Levi? Like, that one was beautiful, and you could see how he reacted. Immediately sprints in for the breach. Only needs one because it was Levi that was ready for the impact. Oi Boy just wasn't ready. You saw him jump onto a Maestro cam immediately to check, but
yeah,
just wasn't there in time.
I think it was slightly a bit of a misclick there by Oi Boy, because maybe he still had the default binds set between the grenades and the cameras.
You can zap the X-Kairos. He did have the cam there, but
the cam was in the armory. It wasn't in the kitchen.
Ah, you know what? Maybe I was just thinking of something else.
But you are on the right train of thought. If there was a Maestro camera there, he could have been able to get rid of it. And a few teams do practice actually playing Maestro up in the kitchen just to play for that disruption. So, unfortunately for ShadowNet, that wasn't the case, so they did lose out on that round. So here on round number 4, maybe they are going to be trying to spice things up here with the gym hold, but Skyfire already on such a large momentum that it's going to be quite a tough one to stop.
Yeah, at this stage though, like, I respect the trying something new because Church clearly wasn't working for ShadowNet, so trying this one could make it work out. And they've got, again, some nice little forward aggressive presence, so they may be able to catch these kills out. But look at how quickly these boys are shift Wing into the building, Cthulhu. Archie, he's got a mission. He wants to get out for his 18th birthday, get partying, and well, he's going to have a whole round to think about what he's going to be doing, as he's going to be sitting on the respawn screen for a while. But that is some quick kills, but only Levi goes down for ShadowNet.
Trading out a Levi for player and Archie, that is a huge thing given that utility-wise, Skyfire just lost a bunch of things, really, including the soft and the hard breaching, and very important hard breaching, because now it's all down to Smacker to do all of it, and he's limited to 3 X-Kairos charges.
And good luck getting through the castle barricades unknown as well. Like, you had the Ash for that before, but...
I mean, Jigsaw is still there, theoretically, but... Again,
that's true.
He is quite limited on his utility, and looking like he just might want to bust down the castle barricade before he starts using the impact grenades.
Yeah, definitely want to be able to save that for any ADS remaining on the site, and you know there's going to be some, so... Here we are, they're just looking out through the window. You always want to be checking this side because there's always going to be one sneaky little bugger called Lags checking you out, trying to get the shots out the window, and he'll be settled down for sure. But the thing is, Nova's hanging out around here too, so they can't just leave this one around. But Mateus, he smells a rat. He wants to see if he can pick this one up. They also know that no kill has gone onto Lags yet, which, you know, would still take a little bit of time, but has not been confirmed. So they get him back up, and Lags is back in the party. But can Mateus lock him down here in cash? And it looks like he's going to be trying as the gunfight begins. No one goes down, but eventually Smacker has grabbed Oi Boy with a pistol. And it's just going to be a trade again. Cthulhu, oh my lord, is going all over the place. And now it's only Jigsaw left to try and make this one work. He has a diffuser, but he has 3 opponents, although they are not all very healthy.
They're about to potentially funnel through the very same doorway, so in the case of all the issues... Uh-oh, that's an issue. unfortunate situation here for Jigsaw. I think his feet are starting to get shot at, and right now he's in a bit of a predicament here, gotta say, because the moment he decides to push through onto the main bedroom, could be caught out, but instead catches Lags out. That is the only person that was on low HP. Tries to bait in the sound. 23 seconds remaining. Could still go for a few baits here and there, but right now can't really do much. Space Prism is just ready to pounce on him the moment the plant is going to start going down.
Man, ShadowNet are having none of it. They are not falling for the bait, but is this one going to stick? It looks like it's going to maybe have to, but no, he baits it again, but he can't go for another plant. There's no time, but he's going to have to try for it anyway, but ShadowNet surely are going to know, and are going to pounce on that fact. And finally, ShadowNet get around under the belt.
And there we go. ShadowNet finally being able to shut things down there and shut down the streak. Will be making things a little bit more competitive for themselves, but they still need at least one more round to win out before they will feel at least remotely comfortable to tackle on the attack. CCTV Room and Cash will be the next place to defend. Last time it got deconstructed pretty swiftly by Skyfire, so I have to see whether that is going to be the case here as well, or maybe ShadowNet are finally waking up and finally starting to make some changes to their plays and their attitudes.
Yeah, ShadowNet, rough site here to hold. It didn't go that well for them last time, but remember, Skyfire, they did get caught out at one point. They went for the defuse, they got completely denied it, and that could have been ShadowNet's window back in. So ShadowNet, they want to find a window like that, but the problem is, it was Skyfire's ball to drop, so they have to find something new if Skyfire are going to keep their hands on that ball.
Yeah, that ball is certainly can be rolled very easily by SKF here, given the fact how more reliant they are on the momentum. They were able to set it up very easily, and they did so in their previous matchups as well, so they're not too big of a strangers to just resetting themselves and getting back up on their momentum. So you asking the right question here, Smite, is whether Skyfire will be able to get the ball back up to rolling, or whether will ShadowNet be able to finally shut things down and maybe start actually getting themselves set up with some more points out. Okay, that is a new angle that I didn't even realize that we could, well, would poke exactly there. Was that a 360 by Spectre? Oh yeah, just dancing around, thank you. He's quite happy about the birthday of Archie.
He wants to make his teammate proud, wants to make sure he has a good day. You know, you only turn 18 once, so you've got to make sure it's a big win up against ShadowNet for the boys. I mean, look, even players having a good time too. I swear these guys know when they're on camera.
Looking like it. Well, interesting ping does come around actually. There is some presence in the garage, I believe. And the Oi Boy is trying to just get rid of as many of the positions as possible. Archie with some vertical play is there, but able to actually, well, won't be able to prevent Levi from bandit tricking, and that is some really good showcase here. Another breaching charge is well in play, and should disable another 2 bandit charges, but there's also a swing from Levi, who does leave Archie quite tagged up, and Nova is there to kind of finish him off, but already damage has been dealt, the breach is going down, and no way to shut it down.
Oh, so risky on that swing from Archie, but look, it gets Levi down and it pays off because they can open the wall now, so a little bit more for ShadowNet to worry about, but at least they took the Ash out. Now the problem though is how long can Lags last? He's got so many mute jammers, but it looks like all the attention is, for now, on Oi Boy. He's lost his shield.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
So he should be going down pretty soon, and there it is. Player is going to be the one to lock it down all the way from outside. Very fun little angle to hold, and this gives Garage control, Rafters control, right over to Skyfire. Little massage for your ears, by the way.
Good massage, good wobs there for Smacker, just to practice some flexibility of his earlobes, I'm guessing. But apart from that, Lags is just prepared to throw in the C4 through that opening, although that is also a soft wall that can be pre-fired, and Space Prism unfortunately cannot do much about it all, and oh, it's just all falling apart. Skyfire back on their usual scheduling as they claim their 4th round here.
Yeah, that one went down super quickly for sure. I think the big thing was that they could get Archie back for ShadowNet. That was pretty much it. So, you know, you take down the birthday boy and the rest of the team flies into a rampage to to avenge him and get the win anyway. So he doesn't go home sad on his birthday. But look, that's 4 rounds now for Skyfire. So maybe a bit of a road bump back in round number 4 where they dropped it. But they can close out a 5 1/2 here, Cthulhu. That could be a really solid little step. And then they just got to move into overtime. Or not overtime, sorry, match point from there. And it's super easy. But look, it's back to Church and Arsenal. This one's been quite awkward for ShadowNet, to say the least.
Attackers
But
need to locate
at
and
some
defuse
points, you know,
bomb.
their impact tricks have been pretty good. You know, they've been able to deny some breaches. Problem seems to be just getting caught out by how quickly Skyfire managed to get in there and how they're able to just find those little pixel angles through the floor. I mean, the Smacker finding Levi opened up that hatch on its own, basically. So, of course, I imagine ShadowNet are going to be ready for that sort of situation this time, but I mean, if they let it happen again, it could just be another round in the pocket for Skyfire.
Yeah, look, Skyfire right now are looking to be quite keen to get themselves a very early day ending, and they're certainly doing all their best at doing so. It seems that their shots are just hitting just the right positions here against ShadowNet. Whereas for ShadowNet, the fact that they are playing with a single sub as well, and the fact that it is not their best map, it's showing. But gotta feel bad as well for them, because they certainly do show potential. They show promise, but just can't seem to be able to get to the dub. And even against Skyfire, they are probably even more ferocious adversary to play against here, I gotta say.
Yeah, and this is a bit more of a normal result, although here's the first impact strike. It is going to work. So they will deny anything, although were there even X-Kairos there is my question. But Levi, he actually ends up getting knocked during all of this, and from above, both Smack and Mateus finding their own kills. And actually, it's in the dirt tunnel that Smack has got his. There was an X-Kairos because he was here. And he has made it onto the side. Only 2 defenders remain. One of them on the floor and lags on his last limbs as well. Almost a flawless round there. In fact, it was a flawless round by Skyfire. Turns out if you're down but not out, still flawless.
Yeah, look, Skyfire just closed out that round in a very potent manner. Just completely shut it all down. 5-1 scoreline is the kind of now dipping into the land of, well, no return really here for ShadowNet. They can't seem to be able to nail down the paces that Skyfire are seeming to be nailing them through, and it is certainly quite an issue that they need to find the solution for rather sooner than later, because at that point you're already losing out the clubhouse. Villa is kind of one of those things that you can play it in a very passive manner, but only against another passive team. If you're being rushed constantly like we've seen before here on the clubhouse, this could be huge. Now, we did have a very rare appearance of Tachanka and Mateus, as the man is fully comfortable about that decision, it seems. And I am actually quite curious how and where will Tachanka setup be for the CCTV defense.
Please just don't open the main wall and leave it there. No, no. Oh no. Tell me it's not happening. Not for this round.
Most definitely happening.
They can still
well and
reinforce
truly.
it if they really want to. No.
They can, but why would they?
I don't know, it looked kind of funny from the other side. I mean, it already looks kind of funny for sure, but
Seconds left before insertion.
okay, you're putting a lot into this round here. ShadowNet, if they go down to
5
this,
seconds left before insertion.
oh man, that would be a morale crusher for sure. Does Mateus actually want to have the turret there? It looks like,
Attacker's
yes,
objective is to
4
locate a bomb and
members of ShadowNet
boy.
all spawn over here. If they are not aware of this, it could be a very, very quick round, Cthulhu. But surely by now, they are aware. Surely they know that the Tachanka turret's there. Players claim the first life. A run out. He continues. He's greedy and wants more. He's trying to flush them out. He gets space.
He gets it!
Oh
He
no.
just hits it! He just hits it like that, and that's a highlight-worthy swing there. Lags does manage to get rid of Mateus, so that's one way, as well as that Nova does catch player. And yet another run out, but already quite a bit of damage has been dealt. Again, it's the Ash and the Ace out of the equation, but this time on the side of ShadowNet. And with Smacker taking quite some damage as well on the rafters, well, few
few
Defender has been discovered.
fallbacks do need to happen. Another even further dip. Wait, I just realized it's Jigsaw that is actually on the rooftop. Oh no.
You don't see a defender on the rooftop too often. It's not often they can even get up there, but it's the constant notification of exactly where he is makes it quite easy for ShadowNet to go up and clean him up. Now, they've left themselves 2 minutes to make this final push work. Smacker is basically dead. He's in a retirement home with that much health. And Archie has got to be the real hero here. He can jump on the turret if he really wants to, but that drone revealing exactly where he is. And remember, that door is wide open. Anyone can just go in whenever they want. So he's very likely going to sneak away from that to try and avoid it. But that mute jammer is certainly not going to last too much longer. Actually gets the kill. He can make this one work. He's drawing a lot of attention as well. My question is, where's Smacker?
Yeah, that does remain Smacker's position being quite unknown. A frag grenade, though, will be potentially ending the life. Yeah, there we go. The Rook is down. That is confirmed. But Archie is still there. Archie just keeps on swinging between multitude of angles. And finally, Nova will be able to finish him off with a bonk. There we go. 1v1. Between Nova and Archie, both of these players are fairly high on the HPs.
But Nova doesn't have the diffuser. So Archie could play this quite cleverly, you know, the call-outs from his team. He should maybe be able to find something here. Nova's just looking for him. Nova doesn't even want to look for the diffuser here. Archie's in the weirdest spot ever, knows exactly where he is, but that rafter spot is so hard to find. Can he get out of here? Archie, the great escape, and Nova books it for the diffuser. 25 seconds. He's got to run his little legs off to make it there, and so does Archie to cover the site too. So, looks like Nova is going to get there in time to go for the plant, and no denial should be there, but he's got to check every door, every corner. Will he be found here? He's going to go for the stick. Question is, we don't even know where Archie is. He's not going to make it there in time. Is he going to find it? The plant goes down, and he goes in for the swing, goes in for the shots, and still misses!
No.
How is this fight still
There's no
going?
C4 in there either, and right now Nova is just holding an angle. He's got the superior amount of health. He's got the SMG-11 out. A single bullet will be pretty much ending Archie's run. Nope, spots his feet. Goes in for the swing, but it's Nova that clutches it out. But oh my god, that was a rat race and a half.
I think we just got the grand tour of Clubhouse Cthulhu. We went everywhere with those players on that hunt at the end. Whew, what a round. Now the question is, how many more rounds like that are Skyfire willing to pull out? Because I imagine that one would have been for a little bit of fun. They probably saw what happened last night. We're like, we want a little bit of a taste of that. But it looks like we're back to normal here. We're not going to be opening up the main door of CCTV, as it is going to be a retry. It looks like things are a little bit more steady. ShadowNet have been thrown a bone, but even then, they barely got it.
Yeah, it seems at the very least Skyfire is just kind of trying to just have some fun as well with some of these rounds. And rightfully so. I mean, Archie got a fair few really good kills, so all in good fun. So, well, back to the usual programming. It seems that ShadowNet certainly going to be trying to get themselves back up and running, but right now, looking at their scorelines, things are certainly not looking too favorable here, I gotta say.
Alright, we got to basically go back to 2 rounds ago, because that last round is not going to be what anything else is like in this game. So, yeah, Skyfire, it's basically almost like their first real round on defense, so we still don't really have a true idea of how it's going to match up to ShadowNet tonight, but judging on how they almost won that last round, I'm getting some good feelings about Skyfire and their defenses here. You know, ShadowNet, they've only won 2 rounds for a reason. In fact, you know, one of them for a very specific other reason, but here it is. All normal, no Tachanka. Everyone in their proper spots. We can have Mateus up on the rafters. People holding the stairs, people holding the wall. No bandit tricks, but we're still going to try and deny that. But this might be the shenanigan from Jigsaw. That might be the main play.
Yeah, Jigsaw kind of just will be there to try to be actually maybe playing like Capo, just be everywhere and nowhere really. Just try to be that nuisance and maybe find a few frags whilst at it. So Levi would probably prefer to stay away from that opportunity as well as that. Oh, Levi most certainly will be able to shut down that opportunity. It's Mecca that got taken out. And that's Melusi out of the equation. So that is the MP5 and the C4 gone now. Levi's still thinking that there might be a roam downstairs, and well, for a good reason. Previously, we did see quite some presence on the ground floor and the bottom floor.
Man, Jigsaw's been here for ages. He has been sitting here so patiently, waiting to do his run out. We'll see if he gets value a little bit later on, but a minute in, still a nothing. Archie also has a really little interesting sightline down to below. Levi's waiting for any kind of roaming from below, it seems. So ShadowNet are being very thorough in a lot of this, and you know, judging on where we actually saw Jigsaw a little bit earlier, you know, this shouldn't be too much surprise, but now we've got the breach in, we can get inside to the garage, and maybe we can start contesting Mateus up in the rafters.
Space Prism, after getting himself a breach and into a crouch hold, should have a pretty good position to just go in for a few more pre-fires and should be able to catch maybe Mateus off guard, because right now Mateus is going to be in a whole heap of trouble in a little bit, because not only that wall is not reinforced to his left, there is about to be a push by Hibana as well of ShadowNet. I was about to say SKF, but SKF are defending.
Yeah, probably won't push themselves. At least not Mateus. He's got a very big job ahead of him for sure. A very, very strong position, but a lot of people now aiming and breathing down his neck. Only 40 seconds though, so Skyflyer have run this clock right down. Here's the next kill though, and it's on the Space Prism. Mateus also sends one back, but eventually they do take him down, but his job may have been done. Buying that much time, Archie can now hold down the stairs, hold down the entry and the main wall. So he's got a really, really strong little position. They'll have to take care of him first. Otherwise, those C4s and those gas grenades are going to start flying out.
15 seconds remaining.
Coming out for the defense. My mistake, actually. Archie's on the mute, not the smoke. So none of that nonsense, but you've got Jigsaw to deal with, who's come back to the site, and he's come home. And now ShadowNet in desperation as they rush onto the site, somehow still alive, but no time to go for the plant.
None at all. A match point, I believe, for Skyfire, as they are only one round away from scoring themselves at the very least a singular point. That is exactly what they're aiming for. I'm pretty sure that no more memes will be achieved here in this map at the very least, as okay.
Yeah, don't speak too soon, mate.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. Bar and Stockroom will be picked instead for this defense. And looking at the lineups, they're going for quite a info-heavy setup, it seems.
I'll give them this. They're in a position to do it. 6-2. They're on match point. They've got so much breathing room. They can afford another round like this if they do drop it. But remember, they almost pulled off their last kind of meme round, and this one is arguably, depending on how much walls they rip up, is arguably more of a meme round. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. And remember, we did see this site played last night as well, with some shenanigans pulled out. So Skyfire clearly jealous, maybe taking some inspiration from Exto.
Could be.
Maybe they learned something and they were like, wow, that's a really good way to hold that site. Although they didn't bring the Tachanka, so...
Bomb located by
Not full meme potential, but...
Not full plagiarism.
No full plagiarism, yeah, true. But look, we may be seeing some few very intricate angles. I'm curious if this defense will actually work out, because usually there's quite a large crossfire that can be set up, and Levi is just toying at this point with Jigsaw, but I believe the Juan Deek actually came out to play and was able to shut things down. Another Valcam to bust out to hold herself quite knowledgeable about some of the situations. But yeah, look, right now player is just toying around with some of the attackers, and ShadowNet are just about to go in for the push towards the supply room entry.
Yeah, and now ShadowNet also have probably never really had to attack the site very often. They probably don't plan around it a whole lot, so this is all very on-the-fly kind of decision making. So can ShadowNet pull it off against Skyfire is going to be the question. And the first shot is going to be onto Archie. And so that Ella now out of the table. That is one way in, but here we go. They want to get in the main door.
Oh no.
And this is going to be dangerous. Oh, player, don't do it to him.
Already with the revolver busting out.
Wonder if it was after he walked onto the frost drive. I didn't see anyone go down, but Nova certainly goes down for sure. Is this pistol only round by Skyfire? I think it might be.
Might be, yeah. Smack already, yeah, busting out. Yeah, it looks like it's this full-on
pistol round, and right now already being able to claim 2 kills for 1. That is pretty neat, although Smacker is pretty low on health, so the moment any kind of major gunfire will erupt, this could be it. Player is about to be pushed here as well, but he's being picked. Already lands another shot, and that does leave Lags on a very low amount of health, so potential could be putting him on quite a low amount of HP, but this is just a whole meme fest right now. Jigsaw and Mateus as well being full HP. Probably actually they will be the ones to swing the favor in their side, but boy now quite dead set on maybe finding a frag here and maybe assisting Levi as well with finding some.
Yeah, if you're ShadowNet and you've worked out even more what's going on, you do not want to lose this round. But
no.
From above, and of course with the pistol, Mateus claims 1. Can he claim 2? He's looking for the next one, but Smacker has gone down. Mateus now gone down. But look at those attacking health bars, Cthulhu. They're not that much lower than what Skyfire have, I suppose. But Jigsaw on a full health bar, but he's got the pistol. And he's got to reload it at some point. Can these guys pull off the 2v2? They only need a shot each.
Yeah, exactly. Both of their pistols are just enough to really be...
Oh yeah, I have these.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just remembering. Oh yeah, those do work as well. Flashbangs do come around, so it's players' time to be blinded, and right now it's going for the full swing. Lags trying to find a few shots, but the pistol is being whipped out. Oh no! Yes, Blair! No, Blair! Oh god!
I saw it! I knew it! I saw this on Reddit! Literally this exact thing, this exact play, and I saw it a second just in time, but you called it.
Oh,
that is a way to end the round. And look, ShadowNet, I mean, they might feel a little bad to lose that round, but at least they probably had a bit of a laugh at the end.
Oh man, that is one way to close out the match.
My brain in those final moments, as soon as they turned the corner and saw all the prisoners, it went into overdrive. I was like, he just threw those out, and he was definitely still around there somewhere, so in this meme round, surely he might be trying to pull off something like this, and he did. He damn well did. So props to him. Look, Red Bull fan vote, by the way, guys. Plays like that should earn your vote. So look, what a way to end the game. But at the end of the day, let's take a breath and realize it's just another expected result, Cthulhu. 2-0 to Skyfire. Wait, not 2-0 yet, actually.
What a no for
I'm getting excited. I mean, you can tell. That was 1-0. So still an expected result for Skyfire, but man, so they still have a whole map to go after all that. So look, when we go to Villa, Cthulhu, is that going to be any different? Are we going to see memes right from the get-go, or is Skyfire going to maybe save it for the match point situations?
Yeah, I think it was going to be more so of a match point question here, and maybe further down the line, after they kind of solidify themselves that they have at least 3-4 rounds advantage. After that, then maybe meme it up a little bit just to spice things up. But yeah, I think they're still going to be playing it for the most of it just to win it, and then maybe add some more fun.
Yeah, well, look, a lot of fun in that last round. So, if you want to stick around for a little bit more fun, when we come back after this break, we're going to be going to Villa to see what shenanigans Skyfire pulls out next. One more game remains, everyone, so strap yourselves in. It could be a bit of a fun one. It's Skyfire versus ShadowNet. They've picked up one map so far, but Skyfire, they want to finish it off and get that 2-0. So just like PC409, they can lock in that top 4 moving into the final week of round robin. But ShadowNet, I mean, I'd say they've got something to say about it, but I don't think they can stand up to Skyfire, Cthulhu. I don't think they can take them down even after that last round we just saw.
Look, I mean, Villa has been a better map for them. I'll say that. They were able to bring it and push some of the teams to the overtime. So I wouldn't be excluding the potential for that. But the way how Skyfire have been playing, the way how aggressive they have been, and the fact that, well, ShadowNet weren't really able to find a whole lot of answers to the solution to getting rid of that kind of aggression. It definitely does imply that we might be seeing a very quick turnout. But look, all the talk aside, straight on to the bans. It is going to be Thatcher to be banned out by Skyfire instantly at this point. And with that said, maybe potentially one of the hard breaches, maybe a Thermite, maybe a Hibana to be banned out, given how powerful and influential she was previously. Otherwise, maybe a Jackal ban?
Yeah, I mean, Jackal wouldn't be too surprising, but the Maverick, I mean, he's been banned out so much, may as well get him out of here. On Villa, it's a little bit interesting, but, I mean, same sort of deal, get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here very quickly, very swiftly. Up next is going to be, I'm assuming, maybe a maybe a Valkyrie ban, because I'm assuming the final one is going to be Mirror. From ShadowNet, let's have a look. It is going to be Mirror, okay.
Yeah,
so
for Skyfire, I think Wamai is really the only other option. It's such a strong operator, maybe like Maestro or something, but even then you can kind of get around those, so it's really just going to come down to their choice here.
actually, for Skyfire, they could ban Mozzie here,
Or Goyo.
given how powerful he is. Or Goyo. Well, we'll have to see in just a short moment. It's going to be neither of them. Instead, it's going to be Elysian to be banned out. And I am somewhat curious about that ban, because theoretically he's no longer as powerful. The only thing that does go for him is the fact that he's, well, 2-speed impact and a 1.5 scope on a T5, but not enough personally for me to warrant the ban. We do see a very interesting ban, or rather pick, coming out from Smacker though.
Potentially two, depending on if the Frost sticks around too. A little less interesting. The Warden is a bit crazy. Okay,
Oh, no.
Get ready. I think this roller coaster is... It's going downhill right from the start if this one gets locked in. This means Frost is sticking around, by the way. But the Tachanka does actually get locked in, so I think we've got a bit of a wild ride ahead of us, Cthulhu.
Yeah, funnily enough, I wasn't even. I already know that Skyfire are about to go for some wild stuff, just for the sheer fact that they have been actually practicing Frost quite a few times. So it's no surprise that she makes an appearance here. I'm more so confused about the Warden pick and the Chanka one, because Mateus couldn't really do much about his picks. Or rather, about his play with Chanka previously, so it's more so just almost kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. Jigsaw already going for a meme setup with the 3 frost mats, so no matter what, when you jump through it or try to rush in, that's pretty much, you'll die. And
Alright, fellas.
well then. Interesting.
Look, sometimes you just misclick, Cthulhu, because that's the only thing that could have been. You wouldn't just kill your teammate, would you? Smacker, jumping out to see if there's a run out. Certainly a meme round if there is ever one for Skyfire. Now, if you think about the points and where they are in the leaderboard, they're technically only 1-2-0 away from Exto right now, with the 1 point they've already earned from the series. So technically, like, if it comes down to a tiebreaker, maybe, but like then there's still the 7th week of round robin. So I imagine Skyfire are just feeling incredibly safe, or maybe this is only going to be the one round where things like this happen, or maybe they just win it. Maybe this is the new strategy, but somehow I don't think team killing is part of that strategy.
Well, Nova does manage to emphasize fresh off that, does manage to get the kill onto Archie as well, without losing any HP. Funnily enough, so that is a solid beginning here. With the fact that only Levi now starts to take some damage, the whole meme lineup of Skyfire is seeming to be slowly falling apart, given that all of them are actually running suppressors, so that's also some reduction in the damage as well once they go in for some of these players. But ShadowNet are not planning to really meme it out or joke it out. They're just in here to start taking some of the fat dubs, and this is exactly what they're aiming for, whereas Skyfire just wanted to kind of toy around with their prey.
Yeah, ShadowNet are coming in. They know they've got to give full respect to their opponents, so they want to pull out the win. Meme or not, they're going to bring the right composition, and so they've managed to get a little bit further forwards, but still no plants, still no anything crazy yet, and technically only 1 kill from them, seeing as, you know, Skyfire got the other one. So, I mean, maybe they're going to take the slow, maybe they'll be a bit careful, but there is still some trouble for Skyfire, you know, waiting on the site. There's also going to be the Tachanka set up. No, actually, Mateus just hasn't got the LMG set up. Instead has the silencer. Imagine if you could silence the LMG. That would be weird, but I wonder if it would still smash through the walls. And
Probably will still, because it's a big-ass round that it's firing.
yeah, maybe small holes, I guess.
Possibly. Either way, Mateus is just waiting for the sloppy push to come out from the space prison. He knows that there's no drone there to watch out, so instead there's full concentration right onto site. So the moment Space Prison will just walk in through the doorway, that is going to be the demise of the Danish operator. Player is also hiding in a very peculiar position. So right now this is just a game of, well, Splinter Cell it seems.
Literally inches away from each other as well, and finally Mateus will not reveal himself just yet. Oh no, don't do it to him.
There we go, Mateus does manage to claim a kill. Does decide to go in for a swing, gets another one as well. That's 3v1 situation. Could the Chanka clutch it out, but because the plant is starting to go down, it's not there, and behind him is Lags to finish him off. Shadownet do manage to bring this back, but oh my goodness, that was a little bit iffy.
Yeah, also considering the fact that was a 4-man team basically from the beginning. I mean, I guess, you know, he got to put the traps down, so it's like 4 point, however much you value traps as a player for Frost, but maybe we go back to normal here for Skyfire. Maybe they've got all their fun out of the way, and Shadownet are gonna continue to challenge them. Remember, they did just drop the round. I don't think Skyfire want to lose the map, so, you know, if they start... Okay, hang on. Maybe we're still messing around a little bit, but will Shadownet even know is the question. Because the Cav, it's been locked in Cthulhu by Jigsaw.
Yeah, Jigsaw kind of continuing a little bit of a meme train there.
The rest of the team looks good though.
Yeah, the rest of the team is looking fine. I don't think there will be a whole lot of changes as we are going to be proceeding on to Trophy Room. Decision of Jigsaw to bring in a Cav is theoretically could really work out well here, given that there's plenty of room to really to roam around. So by all means, go for it, although it's going to be a bit of a glass cannon kind of play here from Jigsaw, because if he does get spotted whilst he is going for an interrogation, that is it for him, and only a downed player is going to be the only result for him. So he'll need to make sure that he nails his shots. Player setting up a very interesting Kaya device, which should ensure at least one of the walls gets electrocuted and stayed safe. And well, just from there on, it's just kind of a bit of how's it going.
That knife just cut a statue and like the head of the owl off. I mean, it's a small statue. There's a strong ass knife.
And they make a pretty solid knife.
I mean, I guess it kills a human being in like one go. So,
I mean, knives do tend to kill human beings pretty quickly if you stab in the right direction. So.
Yeah, but it's more of like they almost punch with the knives in this game. But hey, it's Lags. Get the first kill, and Player has now gone down. So Mateus has been forced to retreat, get back to the site. But for now, it's just a freebie for Shadownet. Do they find any more?
Not too sure. Player did get caught out pretty quickly with his pants down, so that is a little bit of an issue for Skyfire. So Archie gets caught out as well. He got. And, well, Jigsaw needs to start making a play, because without him, it's only a 2-man hold on site, and that is going to be quite a rough thing to really do here for Skyfire against the full 5-stack of Shadownet, who is pretty much just sweating it out, and they just want to win.
Smacker can't even get back onto the side. He's been fully forced off, so he's potentially going to be looking at a remake. This is going to be basically where all the magic has to happen. 1 kill, and he gets it down. Doesn't go for the interrogate, though, but that is a double kill for Jigsaw, who has evened up the numbers.
And that is a huge play. Just as I said, he could make things change here, and there we go. Smacker is able to emphasize of that position and play. And now even a run-out could really pretty much see the demise of the ace, and that does happen. This could be huge, although Smacker just only prompts with the sound cues, as right now Nova is actually on a whole different flank coming around. So I believe the Astro stairs or Astro window. And from there, maybe they might be able to pincer Smacker, but the damage has been already dealt quite thoroughly, and there's going to be quite an effort to be put in before any kind of success is achieved.
Yeah, it's just going to be too hard to create the sightlines with only 2 people when you've got 3 people on the inside, just easily able to defend. Piles of ADS everywhere. Smacker, playing with fire every time he approaches, has the option of a run out constantly. There may be a Claymore on the other side, so he's going to have to watch out, but I don't even know if they had time to drop one down, and it doesn't even look like there is. They still haven't found these kills. Shadownet are just spraying and hoping at this point through the windows, maybe even through the floor if they can, but 20 seconds to get to the point and get a plant or all the frags? That's a dream.
Yeah, that's a dream and a half here. Really, Space Prism is solo pushing the Astro Stairs, needs to go in for the push because right now there's no more time really. The push needs to happen as quickly as possible as Space Prism goes in for the pre-fire, gets spotted out by Mateus. It's all down to Nova, 2 seconds remaining, can't really find neither the frag nor the, well, just as I said that, can't find the, rather, diffuser and, well, runs out of time, but does manage to find the final kill.
Oh, well, there we go, shutting it down pretty quickly by Skyfire. Pretty good solid round coming out for them on that, and a lot of good pressure on the outside of the map, and the big man himself, Jigsaw on the Cav. You know, we had some hums and haws about it in the draft, but at the end of the day, it pulled it off and got a ton of value. So, you know, who are we to say that the Cav is a bit weird? What is weird, although maybe I'll eat these words after the round, is the Vigil also being teased up here. You don't very often see Vigil and Cav run.
I'm more so curious about the Clash pick because that is just about to be picked out and could have been 6th pick because they were actually toying around with kind of ticking off and on her. But either way, yeah, Clash will be also coming around. The Vigil pick, I'm assuming it's going to be the meme cannon, but no, it's just going to be the standard K1 carbine. So not a bad decision, but yeah, the player's pick onto Clash certainly leaves me a little bit puzzled because it's not theoretically a meme pick per se. It's not, well, a good roam pick, but I'm assuming he's just going to be sticking around for the anchor plays, which Clash could be absolutely fantastic. But then again, you have 2 operators again, or rather make it 3, that could counter the Clash plays. So
10 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
What are you going to do when Oi Boy just shoots an air jab at your feet? Like, it's...
Well, firstly, I'm assuming that that player will be mostly just running around with the SPS MG11 in his hands. So there's that. And Nova already finds the kill into player who, well, will not be getting to run around anywhere at all.
Does that mean he was going for a Clash peak? He must have been, because he died so
He was
quickly.
going for a run out, yeah.
Yeah, so that is, well, normally you'd call Clash like the key piece of the comp, but I'm not even sure if that's going to be the case here for Skyfire. But yeah, no, there he is, eliminated right by the window. So,
oh, there he is now, by the door.
Oh, sorry, yeah, by the door, yeah. But man, one man down already so quickly as soon as it began. Oh, Cav.
Oh boy.
Jigsaw.
Oh boy.
Can't hide forever.
Oh
getting
boy.
shot through the wall, getting shot through the wall, getting shot through the door. And that's the one that's gonna land, and man, Lags, wish you could interrogate him. Be super useful. Maybe you can get a lesson. Ask him, how do I do this?
Tempted. He was tempted to BM with the impact grenade, but it's a little bit too much of a valuable utility to use up for just the BM kill.
Archie's playing checkers on the wall there. He's got so many little bullet holes to fire through that you gotta imagine any attacker that goes up and sees that is like, well, someone's on the other side. There's so many holes there. But hey, you know, it looks pretty. That's the one important thing. And the other important thing is that Skyfire are 2 people down already. So this is, all things considered, looking really good and solid for ShadowNet. Oh, brave by Nova, but doesn't get punished by it.
I mean, there's nobody theoretically around there really to punish him as well. So right now it's just kind of a very one-sided defense from SKF. Once again, it's Mateus this time, actually on the deep roam, so could maybe catch a few attackers off guard, but again, last time we saw it only was a double kill before the rest of the roster starts kind of pulling up with some frags.
And still, everything is just by the book for ShadowNet. They want to clear out everything nice and normally. Don't go for any crazy swings. Don't try to be the Alpha Chads. Just get the round win. Because you could easily drop around against a 3v5. It's happened before. Skyfire have stolen rounds away, so you do not want to let that happen, especially on a round that looks like this. So, Smacker, his position's certainly known. Are they going to be able to swing around and get him? Looks like Mateus will be able to get Nova, and this could be where Skyfire can bring it back, but there's not much of the round left, Cthulhu. So ShadowNet, it's got to be now or never.
Yeah, already a smoke grenade starting to fly in. Levi got taken out, but Space Prism are able to really trade things out already. Malusi device is there. Lags fighting a double kill. There's a swing that needs to be done by Smacker, but he's missing all of the shots right now.
can't find the right pre-fire, but does actually down Lags, and that is already a 1v2 situation now all of a sudden. He still has full HP, but the post-plant situation is certainly quite an issue for him to deal with. Finds one of the players that is playing in the pantry, but needs to get rid of Oi Boy as well, who's currently playing at the entrance to the kitchen. And after getting blinded right now, this is quite an issue here for him to rock around with.
Oh, he manages to sneak on out, but look at the crossfire, Cthulhu. The next flash comes out, keeps him blind. Not long to go, but sneaking on up. Oi Boy is just waiting for the push by Smacker, who has to go right now before that diffuser goes off. And here it comes, right into their line. Actually, he gets one and gets two, but he can't.
Attacker mission successful.
He can't believe it himself.
Look, at the very least, he was able to find those frags at the end just to stat pad a little bit more. And that's about it. Really. It seems that Skyfire kind of still going for a very subtle mental warfare just to keep on kind of toying around with the ShadowNet. Or maybe it's the ShadowNet that is able to just keep on punishing through all the memes, which is also a good position for ShadowNet to really take here against Skyfire.
Yeah, if I'm ShadowNet, I'm punishing every meme round right now. If ShadowNet can win Villa, then suddenly that's 1 point. Maybe a 2-0 next week can save them from relegation. It's a long shot. Again, it's still that very small window, but it's there. And so ShadowNet have actually got something to play for here. Skyfire, they may have all but locked in their spot in the top 4, with a few shenanigans next week potentially changing that. You know, they're feeling very, very safe. They're not sweating about a lot of these rounds. You know, that round ends up there. You know, Smacker's probably just laughing that he can't defuse the bomb. It's actually kind of funny to him. So, you know, these guys are not feeling anything. They're playing like normal. Skyfire are not going to crumble. For ShadowNet, though, the pressure's there every round. You know, every round is sitting there like, we can't lose a round like this. Luckily for them, Skyfire's team comp looks a whole lot more normal here on round 4. So, maybe either Skyfire are looking to even it up, or they're taking ShadowNet seriously.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Maybe. Or maybe at this point they just want to they had their fun. It's like, okay, it's time to kind of wrap the whole circus up.
You're allowed a few meme rounds.
Yeah, I mean, a few meme rounds did happen. A few of them were successful. Namely, the Clubhouse was very successful with some of those rounds close to the end. So, yeah, look, Skyfire now have their fun. They're going to try to just play it out now in the normal fashion, maybe in the normal fashion, but when I said that it was normal fashion previously, they went for a pistol round in the bar and stockroom. So anything and everything could happen here.
Well, we've got a 4-man approach here from ShadowNet, so they're going to have all the backup they need and all the drone support that they need. So they might actually want that through those soft walls that they could be fired upon from. But now, this is some mean-ass progress coming out from Lags, who's able to get through pretty much the entire floor from above, and should be all nice and safe for it. But of course, you've got to remember they're going into a normal Skyfire on this round, presumably, as long as they're not rocking around with like suppressors on their guns or anything, or like bring the opposite secondary gadget day. Imagine that. Imagine that.
That would be quite...
You'd bring frags on glass or something.
I mean, frags on glass are not a bad idea, although a very controversial thing. I'll say that.
Attackers
A C4. Oh, can it be blown out? Oh, a little bit of a missed opportunity there. Or maybe for the time being, no, C4 misses. Doesn't even deal a single bit of damage here to ShadowNet members, and right now that may force player off his position. There we go. Returning back to the site, does gain quite a fair bit of information, and the C4 does fly out, but only damage is being dealt just only a little bit, just to keep things a little bit spicier.
You've got to be careful on those C4s because the corners of the wall can block it off. And Lags, that's the other thing you've got to be careful about, is the kills from below. Another C4 to come out. It's going to blow up the fridge, but that's about it. Actually, that's the bathroom, so the sink is gone. But now that the house is ruined, what if Skyfire got left to defend? There's not a whole lot of C4, if any, left, in fact. But there are so many holes in the floor, but it's only working in Skyfire's favor.
Yeah, Skyfire just keep on playing that vertical game very well. They know each and every one of their angles, know exactly where to peek, which ones to not even try, and well, they seem to be able to punish ShadowNet very well in a very fashionable manner. As well as that, there's also some swings coming around. Finally, Space Prism is able to shut down player.
So that is the pulse out of the equation. But there's Mateus. While Mateus is there, headshots, oi boy. And now it's down to Space Prism and Levi to try to make anything work.
And there's only 20 seconds left, so ShadowNet, they've got a bit of a miracle to find a way to make it work. Levi Diffuser in hand of Space Prism, so they can make this work, but they're still droning out. They're still trying to find out where the last defenders are. They don't even know, and so they'll have to find a way to go in and get the peaks. That's 1 by Jigsaw, that's 2 by Archie, and it's all Skyfire, baby, as they pick up round 4.
There we go. Skyfire able to even things out back again. Now in round 5, looking at now starting their momentum back up once again. Last time they were able to ramp up a 3-round streak for themselves, but that was on the offense. On defense, though, it was still 2-round streaks here and there, but that was just about all that there was for it. Trophy and Statuary will be the next pick once again. And we are also, once again, we'll be seeing the reappearance of Caveira by Jigsaw, who was able to actually swing the round into the favor of his team very nicely with that double kill.
Now the thing is, in theory, Cav should have a rough time into ShadowNet's comp, right? You know, there's the Nomad being the big one, cutting off any kind of flanks that you can throw down with the air jabs. So the thing is, if Jigsaw can't get the jump on his opponents, then Cav is, to be honest, one of the weakest operators, in fact. You know, it's very hard to get too much value if you can't get a jump on them. So, you know, if these air jabs are placed right, if they are cutting off any kind of flanks, and, you know, ShadowNet have no excuse. They know that it is a possibility, that it's not just a troll, that it is actually going to get locked in, because they've done it before. So they should at least be a little bit more prepped for this one, Cthulhu, is what I'm getting at, and maybe
10 seconds to go.
Maybe they catch out Jigsaw on this Cav this time.
5 seconds to go.
Maybe. And now, if they are knowledgeable
Attackers objective
and aware of the Caveira pick, they just might be able to find her. But right now, oh, there's a run out, a double peek as well. Could be huge if ShadowNet will be caught off guard. But it seems that neither of them actually spawned there, and instead it's going to be an all-out south push. So not too bad at all. And a good idea to take control of the study as your foothold.
Yeah, so look, they've got a lot of rooms they can now drone out and get a lot of vision on, you know, take a lot of presence in. So it's nice that they've got so many people to work that one out, and nice that they didn't die to any spawn peaks either. And that could have been a nice little disaster for them for sure, but oh my god, player. That is a disgusting angle that he's got through his shield here. Now, looks like they know about it and may be able to deal with it. The flashes are now coming out, so he is forced well away from that Vulcan shield, and there it goes, kaboom. We're not going to have that one standing up any longer, so ShadowNet making some solid progress, getting rid of the utility and forcing Skyfire back.
Levi is getting into quite an intricate gunfight here between himself and a few of the players on the site, but looks like Smack is just quite reluctant to allowing Levi to make any more pushes. Playing very aggressively by that position, as well as that player is also there to try to support any kind of droning, so should be able to deny some of the peaks, but at the very least there's also only just information for the Kaid, or rather was, before Smack had decided to keep on blasting.
Yeah, alright, so all defenders' positions now basically revealed by the drones, except one man, except for Jigsaw. Where is he hanging out? Because remember, he was instrumental in winning the round before for Skyfire on the Cav. Maybe he'll be looking to do it again. Remember though, they've got the Nomad. ShadowNet have the tools to stop this, but look at just above. Jigsaw has hunted down his first prey. The callouts are now coming out, but it's too little and too late, ShadowNet. He's got out of there.
Levi does manage to trade it out though, so there's that. But whilst amidst all of that chaos, Nova did get down. Space Prism also finds a shot onto Archie, so that is a solid opening here for ShadowNet to actually take control of. Player takes a little bit of an oopsie there for his HP, and well, right now if Nova can get picked back up, this could be huge, as now this is going to be pushed into 4v3, and that is probably the last thing that Skyfire would really want.
But important that they managed to get Nova back up as well, because now they can go with the numbers advantage, but not a lot of time. Again, ShadowNet running into this issue time after time, but the plant now going down. Player wanted to stop it, but ShadowNet, well, they had the positions, and they had the numbers, and they take another round.
There we go, ShadowNet getting closer and closer to potential success here, although still quite a road ahead. 6th round. Currently in a point lead. They just might be able to ensure themselves a 4-2 scoreline, or maybe ShadowNet, or rather Skyfire, will be able to bring this back to a draw. AVG is going to be the site to be played out. Now, that was the site that was previously won out by ShadowNet in a pretty confident manner, although there was a little bit of a meme comp there, let's just say that. So maybe it won't count, but looking at the current setup for Skyfire, they are going to be bringing in a little bit more of the aggressive approach here, maybe.
Yeah, we're also back to full stock standard for our
Defenders,
mates at
protect your bomb.
Skyfire. Of course, the odd caviar being picked up, but you know, I think that's just the extra flavor to their comp, rather than reducing their power on purpose. But we'll see, we'll see. Skyfire, they just want to even this one up. They don't want to make the half look too bad, because, you know, ShadowNet take this one, they go 4-2, and suddenly you're sitting there thinking, oh, maybe we don't get the 2-0. Because I don't think there's any world where Skyfire came into the series, or even this map, thinking, okay, we got map 1, it's whatever on map 2. You know, they're still coming in here and they're going to want the win. ShadowNet have met them
10 seconds left before
throughout whatever they're pulling out, whether it's the full power or the questionable, odd strategies that we've seen that have worked and not worked, but
Attackers
ShadowNet bringing the full power each and every round. And it's keeping them in the lead for now, Cthulhu.
It's interesting to see that ShadowNet are able to really get themselves back up into the game, keep their mental fortitude running, whereas Skyfire just keep on just trying to be as annoying as possible. There is a trade-off happening between Archie and Lags, and Nova being out with Levi quite low on health as well. This will be ensuring that ShadowNet will be questioning next time they want to try to go for an aggressive swing.
For every round there is a run out by Skyfire, so ShadowNet should surely be knowing this. The trade suggests that they did, but to lose someone to it, also dropping Levi pretty low, like that is a pretty rough response. He certainly would have wanted better than that, but for now, they're just going to have to make it work. They don't have an Ash, but hey, look, that's alright. You can find a way to make that work for sure, but Levi being on low health, I think, is going to be a big problem too. Anything can just take this guy out, just like that. I think that full health would not have mattered either, though.
Yeah, not at all. Well, at the very least, they're able to set things straight here and get, at the very least, continuation in their, I suppose, man advantage. C4 does fly out, but it won't be dealing any damage to Lags, which is a solid play here, and should be able to cut off the rotation. There he goes, smacker off the board. That's a triple for Lags. With Jigsaw now out of the equation, it's down to player in Mateus, and this is looking like the round that could all of a sudden be taken by ShadowNet with force. Very quickly and very swiftly, although the 90 hallway is still going to be quite a challenge to be taken. But surely in a 3v2, this could be done pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that right shield's not going to last too much longer with Lags singling around. The Banshee now taken out too soon. 90 very quickly taken back into control by ShadowNet. But they'll still have to be cautious around that corner for sure. Player's going to be hanging around it. You know, Mateus has been locking it down, so very, very cautious for them, especially little things like this. Mateus, oh man, finding Lags, they're going to have to want to get him back up. The question is it going to be too hard because player is in the way? He gets one, but the next one will be his victim as it's traded back. ShadowNet, they get another round, Cthulhu. That's 4 for 2. Is this where Skyfire may be thinking that maybe some of those early rounds might be biting them?
Karma is a pain sometimes, it seems, as certainly looking like a few of those lost meme rounds certainly not really paying off the dividends here, but maybe they might be able to redeem themselves here on attack. Who knows?
I mean, they did it because they're confident. They did it because they're comfortable.
That is true. But being overconfident as well is another trait that you need to make sure to get rid of as well.
Well, look, basically, you know, they talk the talks, and now it's time to see if they can walk the walk and finish the map off. from behind, 2 rounds down. Skyfire, remember that they're okay to drop this map. They're okay. It might hurt their pride a little bit, but now they've got the shield of being like, well, we didn't take some of the rounds seriously, or, you know, did you see our team comps? But, you know, they're okay if it gets dropped. And so is ShadowNet right now. But that all said, I mean, I think ShadowNet still, if they can pull this map, then there is, again, hope to avoid relegations. It'll rely on a 2-0 next week, but it could be their ticket out.
Yeah, it's still setting up, yeah, ShadowNet for a bit of a rough run if they do want to try to even have a remote chance for escaping the relegations.
10 seconds remaining.
And looking at the current setup, I mean, this looking pretty
5 seconds
good.
left before insertion.
Everything is very easily defendable. It's more so just ShadowNet were lacking on a few gunfights, at least back at the clubhouse. So here it's a completely different story. They still able to frag out really well. Big props to Lags, big props to Levi, as well as Nova. So, look, all in all, this is a good start for them, but they still have a huge road to go with. I don't know what is happening to my English.
That's all right. I'll take over.
Yeah, go on.
I was actually, no, you won't believe that. I wasn't born in England. But yeah, no, I mean, you're right. Look, ShadowNet, I think, the important thing to know is that they won an all things considered normal round against Skyfire. So it shows that, yes, they can continue to keep winning these rounds. Skyfire, they have to continue to turn it up, and even then it might not be enough for them to pull out the wins of the rounds. But here we go, back into the next one to see if Skyfire are going to change it up now that they're on the attack. This is a very aggressive little push by player. Hoping to get someone out in the doorway, but no one to be found. However, Levi sniffs him out with that C4.
Yeah, that was a solid C4 from Levi as well, just to retake the control of the 90 hallway. As well as that, well, at the very least for player, he was able to down Oiboy to just about 20 HP, so that's a solid start here overall. But Skyfire looking to maybe retake this 90 hallway once again after that C4 went off. Ready, few sidelines are set up, so it's more so just how quickly can the breach be done, because right now Mateus needs to be very careful about his peaks. So is Lags, because he currently is one of the leaders right now in the ShadowNet leaderboard.
Yeah, he definitely needs to stay alive, particularly towards the end of the round again. Oh boy, but no one will fall down for that one, even if it did raise their heart rate just a little bit. But for now, everyone's still alive in Skyfire. I mean, 4 people to make a push happen might be a little bit rough, but they won't even have the breach on that electrified wall either, so... Oh boy, wait. Where is the claw on that one? Ah, right, it's just over on the doorway. Okay, so it's pretty much possible to take out, but no way for Skyfire to get inside. They're gonna have to go all the way around.
Smack already being taken down by the crossfire of Oiboy. Very nicely done. That is another one out of the equation. Levi goes in for the swing. Duns Mateus as well. Archie and Jigsaw, the last man standing. Doesn't look like things are going to be looking anywhere near successful for them, because right now this crossfire is where it's all at. It runs into one. Space Prism gets traded out, but just too many angles, too many rounds to fire, and not enough time. ShadowNet claim their 5th round.
Yeah, a clean little flank to put them in this really good position now. They're 1 round away from match point. They could steal this one away from Skyfire, make it a 1-all. That will hurt Skyfire's pride, won't change their position up too much, but for ShadowNet, like I was saying, it could mean the world, but they are not quite there just yet. So a few more rounds, but with a 3-point lead. A 3-point lead, and this is also looking like a Skyfire that is starting to try and fight back properly. Is saying, alright guys, that's enough. Let's actually win this thing now, and yet still ShadowNet, that's 2 rounds in a row that they've stopped them now in their tracks, and they're looking to do it again.
Yeah, look, this is looking promising. The Skyfire could make a return very swiftly at some point. They have already flexed on ShadowNet previously, and it's certainly looking like they might just be able to do that very same thing. Although a trophy hold is a pretty good idea, it's a pretty stable side that you can play vertically, and ShadowNet showed us that they are quite proficient at that very idea. So maybe taking a few pages out of the ye old LFO books with some of those C4s, certainly working quite well. But curious how will this very round unravel, because this one is going to be deciding quite a whole lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they can win this round, then basically they've set themselves up for victory, unless Skyfire somehow get 4 rounds in a row, which is not out of the question, but, you know, we'll get to that when we get to it. Because, of course, Skyfire can take this round and just start their comeback now, but, yeah, you look at it, and we're fully back to normal. We're fully back to try hard. Both teams really wanting to score the win here, so no excuses from either side. No pistols only. We've all got the full power.
Full power is certainly there.
Oh, look at that drone.
You don't really want that. Yeah, that drone is gathering quite a plentiful amount of information. Surely Skyfire should be able to bank off that. Apart from that, really, ShadowNet just playing kind of a bit of a wild game. Levi on a roam around and the dining. That is a good idea to have a 2-man presence just to be able to fend off any attackers in case they do want to go for a push. And it seems that right now, Master Bedroom has been, for the most of it, kind of given away to Skyfire, and there may be a peek right into Lags. There we go, Lags off the board. It's a player that is now going to go in for the swing, now trying to hunt down Levi, who's currently playing as a Falcon. With so many explosives going off right now, Levi will need all the help possible.
Oh, he doesn't see the head in time, and Space loses his own one, so Mateus happy to take that one away. Only 3 people left for ShadowNet to find the defense. In fact, actually, he might be able to get Space back up. He's going to be fine, but not very healthy. Oh, almost found him with that one, but he stays alive again and actually manages... Nope! He almost got back home, but cut off on the retreat. And Oi Boy as well, falling down too. He is going to be a whole lot harder to get back up, and it's all from the outside. Skyfire are finding a lot of these frags. Another one from the outside. Smacker. Call him 2 little girls because he's going around the outside at the moment.
Yeah, Levi right now will have, quite a trade going for himself. Does maybe manage to find a frag, but Nova right now in a very peculiar situation. With plant going down, it's a minute remaining, so can't really even deny the plant right in time. The Diffuser has gone down. The C4 is there to catch Smacker. Oh god, that's 1v3. Mateus is still kind of roaming around the general area, but does manage to catch the defender off board, and well, the pistol being whipped out. There we go. Round number 8 taken back into Skyfire's hand, but oh so close for ShadowNet.
Yeah, but definitely solid control once Skyfire got their hands on it. They got the site now easily under control. You know, they were taking kills from the outside of the building itself. You know, Space dropping down, Oi Boy dropping down, and, you know, they couldn't recover from that position. And with that, that's 1 round back for Skyfire, so certainly trying to make that comeback happen, which is not a sentence I thought I would say in a match against ShadowNet, but hey, look, here we are. Doc is being teased here, but I don't know if that's going to stick around, because it's not very commonly picked up, but hey, it puts the idea into Skyfire's mind. But look, Pulse is going to be the answer, and I like the Pulse. I don't think we should really be seeing ShadowNet stray from Pulse too much.
Yeah, Pulse for dining is going to be a pretty good idea, given the fact that Skyfire would probably want to go for quite a vertical game for themselves. And with that said, they might just be able to scout them out pretty quickly. Levi is going for a little bit of a far-fetched attempt to place that battery device on the couch, but apart from that, really, ShadowNet just... their setup's looking pretty neato, and should really get themselves through all that round, because looking at Skyfire's lineup, it's just about the same as it was before, really. They just need to make sure that they drain out all the utilities, shut down all of the pushes with the crossfires, and play a bit more of a passive game, because we just saw what happens when ShadowNet gets a little bit too excited, let's just say.
Yeah, they were a little ambitious to catch a few entrants from the windows and got punished for it. So as long as they don't get caught out again, then it shouldn't be too much against them. However, Skyfire, pretty clever team, so they're going to make it pretty hard for you to deny those sorts of kills for sure. But the entry to the building, it's going to be a live droning player, so he's going to have all the information in the world, going to be safely able to push all the way up to the stairs.
Indeed. Crouch walking by the main hallway. Player might just be able to sneak up on one of the defenders, as they are not expecting. Already making an entry. There's one frag,
Can he find another one as there's already some pre-fires going down? Already, player does get shut down pretty quickly as well. Oi boy gets spotting.
Get off your
some
cams,
more
mate.
pushes. Get off the cams. No, Jigsaw shuts him down. Legs gets a frag, but Levi gets traded out. It's down to 1v3 as now Jigsaw keeps on punishing through and through. Mateus is the one to close out round number 9. And Shadownet, all of a sudden, just completely now back to square one, as it seems that they just can't seem to be able to acquire the match point.
Yeah, that one felt almost a little too easy for Skyfire to just walk on in there, get a few easy frags there. I mean, some players even just caught on cams, right? That's just a problem that is just super annoying to have in a match that is pretty important like this, and one that you do want to score for a win. Remember, Shadownet have not even got a map win, let alone a series win, so they still want to snag this one here, even if it's just only for honor's sake, and even if it's just to not let Skyfire steal away a win that's just basically theirs, or it was, 2 rounds ago. So that comeback is happening, Cthulhu. But Shadownet, maybe not quite square one, because they're at least 1 round ahead still.
Yeah, they're still 1 round ahead, but we've been talking about that kind of outcome whenever you get into that kind of mentality of, guys, we just need only 2 more rounds, only 1 more round, and kind of that is the kind of mentality where you start just kind of losing things out because you start getting desperate, you start getting cocky about some of the peaks, and you get punished very quickly. Skyfire are very active on that punishment. At the moment, we are having a little bit of a how's it going with the servers, and yeah, looking at Oi Boy's net connection.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Look, as always, I'm going to be that Kiwi that makes fun of Australian internet and say it's not our fault. It's never New Zealand's internet.
You'll be surprised.
No, I'm a Kiwi that uses the internet. I know how it goes sometimes. Pretty rough, but hey, look, we can always say at least we're not Australia. But look, Shadownet still just 1 round ahead, so still holding the advantage and still, maybe sweating a little bit now that Skyfire have started to catch back up. But remember, they've shown that they can win on these rounds. They've shown that it's possible, even when Skyfire starts trying again, so there's no reason they can't pick up 2 more.
No reason at all. Levi on the roam, swapping back over to the infamous Mozzie pick.
Another C4.
Yeah, with the C4 as well. Should potentially be able to find a few frags, or rather, one would be expecting him to do so, as the man was just an absolute beast last time we saw him. But it's still maybe too early to call it. Skyfire already making a potential entry. Well, one through the workshop, one just about to make an entry through the main entrance. Should be able to take full control of the red stairs, or rather main stairs instead, and see if they can make an advancement from there on. Jigsaw going for the drone up ahead to spot the shield as well as a Womai to boot it all. Maybe having a few issues, but Oi Boy, I would suggest you not to peek that position because you can get shot out very quickly out of there. As Oi Boy just learns that because the big ass impact grenade just flies near his face.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised everyone still has their life after that little confrontation, trying to flush the defenders out, but doesn't quite work out. Now, interesting that Shadownet, not any vertical presence at all, especially not Oi Boy, who has just fallen. You'd be expecting them to look for some of these C4 plays from below, but maybe that's just for later on, maybe for a retake situation instead, but still, it's death from below. This player finds lags as well. Now, Space Prism under a lot of trouble too. Levi, can he make a bit of a play happen from the stairs? There's the first C4, and it doesn't go off. They take it out of the air, and Jigsaw, he returns the kill. Skyfire flying all over the place, looking to take another one to even it up, but it's just Levi to hold down the fort.
Oh, man.
And that fort's gonna crumble.
Yeah, that fort is gonna crumble indeed. Skyfire evening out the scoreline here once again, 5 apiece. After such a phenomenal comeback, and Shadownet's dreams seeming to be all but falling apart here. They are still on a defense. They just might be able to maybe find a round or 2, but it's all the hope is dwindling. AVG is potentially the round and the site that could potentially decide who is going to be going on a match point here.
Oh boy, yeah. And now that Skyfire seem like they're back on a roll, it again feels like they're feeling a bit unstoppable. I may have been saying a few rounds ago that, yeah, ShadowNet have won, a few rounds here and there against Skyfire. They're looking all right against them now that they're on full power, but no, it feels like Skyfire have surpassed that, and now they're back to, just rolling over ShadowNet, just making it look like Clubhouse again, and just smashing them, despite what the scoreline looks like. The last 3 rounds have looked nothing like that scoreline. They've looked like it's been all Skyfire all day.
It's kind of amusingly surprising how much of a flip around has Skyfire caused already, because ShadowNet got so close to glory once again, and on the same map as well, Villa. They're at this point seeming to be one of their best maps so far, but still can't seem to be anywhere close to that glory. Getting so close, being able to get into such a nice lead as well, points-wise, for it all to be just completely crumbling around themselves. So, yeah, this is not the best case scenario for them at all.
You got to feel for them, but at the same time, you've got to have that respect for ShadowNet. The show up each week, put their full all into each and every match, including ones like this, and still showing up, and still actually almost getting results. So, we haven't even finished the result of this one, but Jigsaw, well, I think he's got a sort of an idea of where it's going to go, because he's already gotten rid of lags, and that is a powerful pick to take away.
Already getting rid of lags is a huge thing. Lags was able to really bring in a fair few gunfights into the favor of ShadowNet. So with him out of the equation, it's down to, well, Levi, maybe Nova, maybe Space Prison as well. First frag for ShadowNet, though, in this round, going to be by the hands of Levi, so that is a good flank, and straight away bailing out of that position.
Yeah, and still has the C4 in pocket to go in and find another free frag as well. So, a freebie there to even it up, always good. But if you can take the numbers lead, even better. But he's going to have to find that one for sure. It's going to slow down a little bit for Skyfire. As you imagine, they're going to be a little bit on the hunt, but a lot of solo play. You got Player on his own, Smacker on his own. Mateus, he's got the backup from Archie, but that's about it. So, this is going to come down to individual skill a lot and call-outs for Skyfire. They got to be on point for this one, not just as a team, but as individual units too.
C4 ready.
Well, C4 does fly out in an attempt to get rid of the Selma charge, and sure does. Mateus as well does claim the life of Nova. So I know already a full-on push in, but Levi is able to return some fire back. It's still a 2v3, so man advantage is certainly well in hands of Skyfire, but only by a single person. Oi boy, if he does connect the shot onto the Ash here, could have been able to potentially save the round, but cannot seem to have hit any shots. It's Archie to take his life, and now it's all down to Levi, the man, the myth, the legend, to try to clutch this back out.
And he needs to pull out an ace as well. Already got a triple kill on his belt, but here we go. It's the plan. He has a C4. He has a C4. He might actually be able to find it, but is it going to be a guess? Or is it going to be an actual deny? Does he think they're on the site? But it looks like not right on the diffuser itself. And so, that has left a bit of a problem for him now to get back onto the site. Will he be able to see anyone? I don't think he saw him. So he can probably get to the diffuser. Question is, who's going to be looking down on it? Who's going to be trying to deny him his presence on it? He's being so cautious about this, but has to be quick. Has to find the frags, but there it is from behind where he wasn't looking. Player shuts that nonsense down, and Skyfire overtaking ShadowNet and taking their own match point.
Now that is quite a heist that Skyfire has pulled off so far. Well,
someone called the police.
Someone called the police, yeah. But not for them, because it's ShadowNet who's currently being murdered and completely just ripped out of their positions in all of the plays. So, dining room and kitchen could be potentially the final place for the battle, because right now ShadowNet are being pushed back on the back foot and cannot seem to be able to do anything to stop that approach in any shape or form.
Do you think Samaka heard the thing about Glaz and frags that I was saying before and just wants to prove me wrong here? Because I kind of hope so. Kind of want to see it.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Smacker. Well, no frag grenades will be picked. Instead, just the smoke grenades. But still,
meme enough to keep on rolling, because with the smoke grenades, the glass is just probably the most powerful one, or rather in his most powerful state. Curious if those smoke grenades will get countered pretty quickly, although given the fact that RG currently also has the smoke grenades, shouldn't be an issue once the ADSs and the magnets will be drained.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's both ADS and magnets, so you got to drain through quite a lot. Yeah, you've got a lot of utility to chuck at it to get through it, but you know, you forget about one, even just a single charge, and suddenly that important smoke is just off in the corner of the room thanks to a magnet, or just gone entirely. So it is a bit of a strange comp to pick the glass into, but pick it he did. He had the option to change, but here it is. Let's see. Smacker, what have you got for us?
Maggot's ready. Let them go.
So far it seems that not a whole lot of things, because all he did was really just open up a window.
Hey, the man's
into
only had 30 seconds.
the pantry. Yeah, but yeah, first 30 seconds may have gone for maybe a bit of a rush, but instead it's Blair doing that very thing. Could potentially maybe cash lags of God as the man is just trying to very sporadically kind of roam around, maybe see if he can find the kill into Jigsaw. But the drone is just going to be there to essentially just indicate if there's going to be any kind of presence. There is a trophy peak that could just happen here, and which could be a very impactful one, but nothing will come off it just yet, as
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, a little bit over feels bad, but that's a two-man roam actually up above.
But the mute roam.
The mute roam, yeah, with the SMG-11 out of all of them, instead of the MP5K, and Archie seeming to be quite prepared for that. He knows that there is some presence. Mateus does get rid of lags, but there's still a wild mute there for the flank.
Yep, and they never see this one coming. You never expect the mute from behind, but Levi is going to make them question it. Never mind, Skyfire 100% expected it, and they shut it down. None of that nonsense, and now there's only two people left to stop Skyfire stealing the win away from ShadowNet, stealing Villa, and their first points right down the toilet. The Skyfire close it out and get the 2-0.
Oh, there we go. The ending to quite a fight here between these two teams. A potential win could have been achieved here between the teams, but alas, or rather between Skyfire and ShadowNet, maybe a map each could have been won out here, but alas, not the case. It's Skyfire to run away with a 7-5.
Yeah, and again, like the 2-0 for Skyfire, it's what we expected to see. We got a few fun little rounds out of it too, so, you know, props to Skyfire for entertaining the viewers just a little bit for sure. Particularly my favorite play being the alibi. Alibi in plain sight is what I'm going to call it. That was beautiful. So, you know, props out to that one from Skyfire. But hey, look, at the end of the day, that's the 2-0. Unfortunately for ShadowNet, they want to pick up their first map win, it's got to be next week, because that is all of the games finished up for week number 6, Cthulhu. And man, I think we've got the leaderboard basically in position. We know who's going to playoffs, but we don't quite know who's getting relegated just yet.
Yeah, it's not yet fully set in stone. Bans and Elemental will have a chance to really battle it out and figure it out where do they want to stand on the leaderboard. For ShadowNet, unfortunately, yet another L. Could not get out of the bottom position of the leaderboard. Although a very valiant effort, but alas, it is what it is.
Yeah, a little bit rough for them for sure. However, next week, we get to shape everything up. Like I said, we get to work out what relegations are going to look like, but also what the top 4 seeding is going to look like. What are those semi-finals going to be looking like? Who's going to be playing who? Well, we're going to find out after all of the matches next week, so you're definitely going to be joining us for that one. So before we go, big shout out to all of our sponsors here at LPL. You got to go for WD Black, Conquer, Sky City, Red Bull, Extrafy, and of course Cthulhu. You're my sponsor.
Oh my.
That's right. So join me and my sponsor next week for more Rainbow Six Siege action.
It's all down to Mitchie to try to deny that. He's unable to deny the plan, but he's able to run down the time.
Here's starts again. One kill already done. Next kill already done. Numbers do usually win out, so they are going to pick it up through the wall.
Camera in position.
Get behind me!
Tango located.
Hostiles in sight!